Alexis of Memphis. Here are your hosts, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin and Brett Stotts Norsworthy.
Dave away until Monday. He will be back with us Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock, and we eagerly await him rejoining us. Good afternoon to you. Brett Norsworthy with you from now until 6 o'clock alongside Bryant Dacus, who will be co-hosting and producing as he has done so well all week, pulling the long afternoon duty, having to handle John Harden for 2 hours and me for 3. Quite a task, and he's been up to it all week. On Monday when Dave gets back, I hate that he will come back to maybe, Bryant, some sense of controversy around his golf pick yesterday. Did you see the fate that occurred to Louis Oosthuizen?
I did not. What happened?
He WD'd.
Oh, man.
Well after we did the picks.
That's a tough break.
It is a tough break. Happened to me earlier this year in the state of North Carolina with Webb Simpson at the Wells Fargo. So a goose egg going into the weekend for Dave. I'm looking at my list last night after I got home to transfer from my phone to my pad that I keep the official records on. And we know how important our golf pick official records are. You know, someday that might be found by archivists and archaeologists someday to pour through them. And I look at my phone and I only have 7, and I knew I'd punched in for our own leaderboard all 8 of them. And I'm thinking, well, who was the other pick? I went to my notes, saw Louis Oosthuizen, scroll through. This is about 8 o'clock. Hit a Google search about Louis Oosthuizen at the Greensboro. WD.
Is there a reason why?
I think just bucket empty after all the tournaments and all the close calls and all the everything. Poor Dave.
Poor Dave. And I'm happy because I almost picked him. If he was there, I would have picked Louis Oosthuizen.
It would have really been poor Bryant.
It would have been real poor Team Young.
But y'all have made it so unfun with your great picks, with your
y'all would have
picks.
been so joyful if my team had a withdrawal.
Joyful is one word for it. But for Dave and how much the golf picks mean to him, in the 3 years that he's been with us doing picks, the last 3 years, the first year we let him win.
Right.
We let him win that year just because good fella and jumped in here in the afternoon with us, helped us out a lot. And then last year he had the very ignominious third with Drew in second and claiming and hanging a banner, which was just short of ridiculous, and John going winning. The pro won. And now this year it looks like Dave is at least third, and I might can catch him for third, and I beat him in the hockey picks. I mean, how bad for him to lose in the sport he played as a child, hockey, and me beat him, a person that was not reared within 600 miles of a frozen pond. And then for me, to beat him at his adult sport, his sport, his favorite, golf.
Poor Dave.
Poor Dave. And he I texted him today. So that was some really bad news about Louis Oosthuizen, ... And he texted back, I didn't catch it. What is it?
Oh, no.
And I texted back just WD.
Ugh.
I have not had a response back from him either.
He might be going through the motions right now.
And I don't like to bother him when he's away because I know he's enjoyed. But he'll be back with us Monday. You have us until 6 o'clock, and we have a lot in store for you, including at 3:30. This is not the start of his regular 3:30 run all the way through the national championship game, but it's close to it. We'll have Bill Bender from the Sporting News with us today, and then starting Thursday, September 2nd, will be his run all the way through a national champion being crowned. Bill Bender from the Sporting News on college football with us at 3:30s all the way through the college football season. But today a little tease from him. At 3:45 or so, we'll talk Tiger basketball and football recruiting, is both having a lot of keen interest. 4 o'clock, Keith Smith from Yahoo Sports and Spot Rack. He joins us on the NBA at 4:30, and we want your input on this. Bryant and I will go over for football and basketball scheduling. The non-conference portion of the basketball schedule released early in the week. Football, always a work in progress, but you go to FBSschedules.com and you look at the Tiger future football scheduling, not every single non-conference spot filled into the future, but a lot of it. There's not a lot of open window for the Tigers. So we will, at 4:30, we will go through, kind of fill in the blanks. What would be some of the games that we would like to see non-conference. And it can be, and for you, the listener, it can be as wild as anything you want. It can be anything. It could be Alabama, 3-1, 2-1, home and home, whatever you want. 3-1 at the Liberty Bowl Stadium. I don't think that's very realistic, but you can have that if you'd like. We'll go through the 5 we want to see on future schedules for football and the 5 we would like to see for future scheduling in basketball. Of our Tigers centrist list this week and our Hall of Fame list from yesterday, this was the easiest one to do.
I think so, yeah.
This was easy for both of them. For basketball and football, we want yours at the AutoZone text line, 901-360-8255. Get in the zone at AutoZone phone line and text line, 901-360-8255. 5 o'clock on Thursday, we talk Tigers, and we do that with Greg Gaston. As I texted him last night, coordinating with him and his time for today, just a little bit going on in Tigerland, and welcomed all good news. It has just really been great headlines for the Tigers for a while now.
Yeah.
I mean, just hadn't been that blockbuster, even a transfer or anything like that. Just hadn't been anything like that.
No, yeah, and it's been a great couple of months. Really, past 2 weeks have been, outstanding weeks for the University of Memphis. Both programs, all the programs, really. I mean, you saw today the women's basketball unveiled that their first phase of their remodeling is complete at the El Marone Fieldhouse, and it looks great. The programs over at the University of Memphis are really having a good offseason and good year for 2021.
It is a good time to get back into real business if indeed we are coming out of the pandemic. I don't know that we are or aren't. I know it's very guarded out there, and it feels like every day a different domino falls, but I think we will, possibly with a lot of restrictions and a lot of recommendations. Well, not recommendations, a lot of mandates, including, today announced that the New Orleans Saints will have a requirement of proof of vaccination to attend a game at the Louisiana Superdome.
Yeah, and I think, didn't New York, the Knicks, do that during the playoffs? I know they were talking about it, but I don't know if they ever actually did it.
They had a great house during the playoffs. It was good to see the Garden rocking, too.
And I think they did that in order to get the full crowd. I think they required vaccines for attending.
Brian, on a civil libertarian point of view, do you have any problem with, show me your papers?
No, not really.
I don't either.
My thing is,
I've been showing them all my life or something, sometimes for travel, sometimes to go to first grade. I think I had to have some vaccination record to go off to college.
Yeah. I mean, you need shot records at least elementary, middle, high school, and I'm pretty sure college too. And I'm so laid back. I don't care.
I don't care. I know why a lot are mad. I don't. But for me personally, it's no affront. I'll break out my little card and show it to them.
Yeah. I think I took a picture of mine because I don't really want to carry my.
I've got a picture on my phone,
but...
and I have sent it to my to my 2 oldest nephews just in case somebody else needed proof or documentation or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't have a problem with it. Like you said, there are some people who do, and that's their choice and their opinion. But me personally, I could care less.
It just really doesn't bother me, and I know a lot will. I hope we will be able to facilitate movement of the crowds in. It's already getting difficult to get in an arena or stadium or ballpark now.
Yeah. With
all the magnetometer and everything, so security conscious. I hope we can really have it down because we're that high tech enough, aren't we?
I would think so, and I don't know how they would integrate that yet. That's the one thing I don't want is I don't want us to have lines that it's taken 45 minutes for people to get into an arena just because they have to show their card. Each person has to individually show their card. And like I said, I'm sure, like you said, we're high tech. I'm sure there's a way to integrate it with your ticket so that it's already on there. When you scan it, they can just already see it. But I would hope that they can figure that out before we get to the actual games.
I just don't have any problem showing my driver's license to vote. I don't have any problem to show anything at an airport. It just is not an affront whatsoever to me. But we're going to have football this fall. We're going to have NFL. We're going to have college, and it's not going to be like last year. But I'm not so sure it's going to be like 2019. I think it'll be more like 2019 and less like 2020, but it won't be like it was.
No, I hope it's a gradual process. I mean, if we look back at 2020 and 2021, you started off with football season. There was absolutely nobody in, and teams slowly let more people in, and the capacity went up. And now we saw baseball where they are having full stadium. So I'm hoping that if we do have to go to, maybe they are limited. I know a lot of schools have said 100%. I don't know if that will change. But if it does, I'm hoping that we can get back to that quicker, sooner than later.
I did turn on a Summer League game last night.
Did you really?
I sure did.
What game?
I can't remember. Because I wanted to see this, because I had texted with somebody that a couple of people that are in Vegas in official capacity at Summer League game, and they told me crowds have been 6,000 to 8,000.
Really?
So I wanted to see it, and I turned it on, and it was a lot of people there. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking if you can be indoors, let's say 6,000. Let's go low side, let's say 5,000. If you can be indoors in Las Vegas with 5,000 people in a 15,000-seat arena, so one-third capacity, why in the world can you not be at a full Liberty Bowl or a full Vaught-Hemingway or a full Razorback Stadium or a full Neyland Stadium or at least 80%?
Yeah.
If you can be one-third indoors in Las Vegas, why in a month can't you be at least two-thirds outdoors at fill in your stadium?
Yeah, and I think the outdoor aspect of it should mean more people. And like I said, a lot of teams have came out months ago saying they would have 100%. Hopefully that stays, and hopefully we'll get back to full capacity in some way or fashion.
If Tigers' opening game was this Saturday, would you have any trouble sitting elbow to elbow beside someone, and whether you know that they're vaccinated or not, would you have any trouble sitting by them at Liberty Bowl Stadium?
Personally, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't at all. I mean, I'm also young though, so I've really never had that problem.
I'm not that.
Yeah, I've never had that, because even back when the playoffs were going on, I went to a Grizzlies game, and up towards the top, we were pretty close to other people, and I really didn't have a problem with it.
And it was masked, though.
It was masked.
And I went to a playoff game, I guess the last Saturday in May, whatever date that was, and it was masked, and it was, I would not say at all anybody close to brusque about it. And I wasn't, but I heard them tell people in the concourse general walk area, get your mask up over your nose.
Yeah.
I mean, because a couple people, if wearing your mask over your chin would choke out COVID, they had it accomplished.
Yeah.
They didn't have it on close to correctly. If it does as much as we say, you can read a 6-foot tall pile of documentation from the world's greatest doctors and all the greatest schools you can think of it works. And on the other side, you can get the same accreditation, the same great schools where all the cool kids go, saying that it's a piece of cloth.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with what the recommendation of the CDC is, and if I'm in an area and need one, I think I got my mask in my pocket. I know I do, right there. I mean, I keep it close.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to do this to, first of all, to take care of myself, but also to try to be respectful and cognizant of others if it works. If it doesn't, if we find out in a few years none of it worked, well, I've done dumber things in my life that didn't work.
Yeah.
Much dumber. I probably drove the first 10 years of operating a car without a seatbelt on.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wore a seatbelt in the 70s and into the 80s. Nobody. And then we became a lot smarter about that. Cardinals beat the Pirates today in Pittsburgh. Wish the Cardinals could play Pittsburgh every night.
Every single night. That'd be nice.
That takes Mike Schilt's record at PNC Park in Pittsburgh to 20-3.
Wow. I did not know it was that high. I knew it was high, but I did not expect that.
He has feasted on the Pirates. The Cubs, another tough day for them. They trail 5-1 into 4 against Milwaukee.
Poor Dave.
And poor Cub fans, seriously.
Poor Cub fans, yes.
Seriously, what was done to them by their owner. And now it's with the release of Jake Arrieta, they're down to 3. That was a part of the World Series. Wilson Contreras, Jason Hayward, and Kyle Hendricks. Mm-hmm. They're down to 3 big pieces of that. And that was 2016.
Yeah.
That's 5 years later. But I thought there was at least an 8 to 9, 10-year common or 10-player over 5, 6, 7, 8 years common denominator core there.
Yeah.
And it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it was. And they got rid of a lot of them. We're in our Family Leisure studios where family and fun come together. It's time to get out of the house and get by Family Leisure. Great pricing on in-stock and incoming products. Keep the kids active. Play gyms in stock and ready for delivery. Markdowns on remaining game room products and massage chairs. Hot tubs going fast. Reserve yours now before the cold weather arrives. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. We have a lot of fun planned for you today. I mentioned Bill Bender from the Sporting News, his first kind of in-season appearance with us. He'll start his regular run with us in a few weeks. Keith Smith at 4 o'clock, Greg Gasson on the Tigers at 5 o'clock. We wrap up the day with Taco Bell Crunch Time. And tonight, guess what will be on our TVs?
The Field of Dreams game.
That and
NFL preseason.
real football. If the Summer League is warmed over Bluff City Classic, what's the first week of NFL games? Spring football?
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah.
But I'll be watching.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll be watching the Field of Dream games. Would you believe me if I've told you I've never seen the movie?
Really?
I haven't. I'm not a movie goer at all. And then when I did go, I didn't want to go to sports movies.
Wow. See, I love Kevin Costner.
I like Kevin Costner. I'm going to say my favorite Kevin Costner movie, No Way Out.
That's a good one.
That's about the stretch that I quit going to movies in. What year was it? 88, 89?
Something around
90?
there, yeah.
Something like that. No, haven't been to a movie in the theater since the original debut of Forrest Gump.
What?
About 94, 95, yeah.
Wow. You
Yeah.
have not stepped into a movie theater since
No,
then.
I haven't. I never was a big movie goer, and I just don't. I never do. Obviously, not 1994.
Wow.
Whenever Forrest Gump was running at the big screen, that's the last time I was there. But tonight in Iowa, first Major League Baseball game to ever play, and for everybody with their FanDuel app, have fun with it tonight. Baseball returns to its roots tonight when New York plays Chicago in the cornfields of Iowa. Make the most out of this historic game with FanDuel Sportsbook. $5 Field of Dingers. Just bet $25 on same-game parlay with at least 3 legs to unlock a $5 bonus for every home run hit during the game. Home runs, strikeouts, money line. You can have so much fun with it. And around baseball tonight, see if you can get in on if the Red Sox can replicate last night when they put up a 20 spot on the Tampa Bay Rays. So lock in your parlay and be a part of history. Tonight, August 12th, if you haven't tried FanDuel Sportsbook yet, new users can place your first bet risk-free. That's right. New users get up to $1,000 back in site credit if your first bet doesn't win. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today. Use promo code CASH so they know we sent you. That's promo code CASH. And enjoy the NFL tonight and the Field of Dream game in Iowa. Must be 21 or older and present in the state of Tennessee. Minimum bet $25. Max bonus $35. First online real money wager. For risk-free bet, refund, and bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Call them at 901-362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the Golden Opportunity August sales event. Great offers on all 2021 models and special lease options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2021 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. 901-362-8833. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, it is very important for the wave of optimism and, more importantly, the success of the Tigers football at this time. It's great to be optimistic. Almost always you're optimistic this time of year. Everybody's undefeated. Hope springs eternal. All that good stuff. And I like all that. I really do. It matters. It's even more important at this time for the Tigers to have had this sustained success. I don't know which way the winds are going to blow on conference realignment, how it shakes out, how many teams are in FBS, all that. But I know if you're not doing well, you would almost have no case to make. The Tigers they have been, and if you want to help right now, and nobody's asked me to do this, nobody's making me do this. It's just this important. When those other conferences are some kind of new conference is looking to be formed, they're going to look at season ticket sales. If you want to help Tiger football right now, go buy 2 season tickets. If you can, buy 4. Make a donation to the Tiger Scholarship Fund. It will help. Everything counts right now. I mean, it's a little bit like passing the plate around at church. Everything helps right now. And that would be a love offering, I think, to help the Tigers in a new conference.
My top story of the day, Lars Nootbaar, the outfielder in the St. Louis Cardinals organization.
Old number 68.
Oh, yeah. He's been with the Redbirds a lot this year, so I know a lot about Lars Nootbaar. But today, the Cardinals played an early game today. He hit his first professional home run. That's big for Lars Nootbaar. I think he's a guy, we talk about guys that could come in and make an impact for the Cardinals. I think he could be one of those guys in the outfield. It was just good to see him to get his first one today.
Yeah, I went through the first round of Lars Nootbaar mania earlier this year when I thought he might help a little more than he has. He has helped here. He's earned the shot. He will really get that good look in September and be invited to camp next year and see if he can help every day. Cardinals have been through a lot of those guys in the outfield that I kept I was thinking might help someday, and some of them have helped other places.
Yeah.
Like the Rose Arena, like Tommy Pham, like Grichuk.
Just not here.
Just not with the Cardinals.
Not top story of the day.
Speaking of baseball, don't look now, but the Braves, they're right in the middle of this.
They are.
Had a chance to end today in first place. Not going to be able to because of what the other teams are doing. But the Braves, they play in about an hour or so, about 4:10, about 50 minutes or so. And the Mets are in a doubleheader against the Nationals. Phillies and Dodgers going on, and the Phillies were losing that game earlier. But all of a sudden, the Braves just kind of snuck in there, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
A lot of injuries, kept waiting for them to make this run. I picked the Braves to win the National League East in my preseason predictions. But the only thing that looks worse than my preseason baseball predictions are my weekly golf picks. Whew, man. Cardinal Yankee World Series.
Ugh.
Mike Schilt to be NL Manager of the Year.
Not working out.
You think? Arenado to be MVP. I went all in on the Cardinals, didn't I?
You sure did.
No fandom speaking.
No. Right. My not top story of the day, the Pac-12 announced today that if COVID plays a factor and you can't play a game 1 week, you're going to have to forfeit it, and that's going to go into the loss column. There's going to be no makeups. You're just going to have to forfeit, and we've seen other conferences do it. The SEC announced it at SEC Media Day. It's big. My question mark is, how often are we going to see this around college football? We've talked about it before. You brought it up yesterday when we were talking about Ole Miss. We saw it a lot last year, but are we going to see it a lot this year with more teams getting vaccinated? The vaccine obviously out there, and it will be interesting to see. Obviously, the Pac-12, Nick Rolovich, the head coach at Washington State, has come under a lot of heat, has been the topic of conversation because he said he's not going to get vaccinated. So I'm just curious, how many forfeitures are we going to see this year in college football?
I think we'd be naive to think there's not going to be one.
Yeah, there's going to be at least one.
Yeah, and I think it will hit home. It probably hit close to home, somebody having to do it. Will being 100% vaccinated, is that the magic bullet?
Yeah, might be. I guess we'll have to see about Ole Miss this year because they're 100% vaccinated.
Because, in May, we thought the vaccination was going to be kind of the end-all, be-all.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be the magic bullet. That was going to get us back to life as we've known it. Now we're closer and closer to a lot more restriction.
And I think the biggest question is, we've seen it in baseball, we've seen it a little bit in football. Are they going to test vaccinated players? We saw MLB's been testing vaccinated players. Are they going to do that in college football?
You're going to have positives.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to have positives of what we would appear to be perfectly healthy people. I don't know why we're testing this many perfectly healthy people, but we are, and there's no stopping it now. And the transmissibility anyway. But yeah, we're going to have that as issue. That's where we will start with Bill Bender from the Sporting News. We do that next. We visit with him about all things college football. You are listening to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy take you through lunch from 10 to 1 weekdays, only on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I have a very honest golf instructor. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. My instructor is Marty Fulton, a PGA Life member whom you may remember from Plantation, Whispering Woods, or Holiday Golf Club. When I asked him what I might do to improve my game, Marty, what did you tell me?
Sheldon, I told you to get your clubs together, put them in your car, then take them to the nearest lake and toss them in.
Great, Marty. You're a big help.
Sheldon, you're far better at selling homes than you'll ever be at golf. That's why people often say when you want the job done, call Sheldon.
Thanks, Marty. And if you or someone you know is thinking about selling their home, you should talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure that I am one of them. Find out the difference in what they do in my highly successful strategic marketing program with the Shellbucks option. You or they can reach me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. That's Sheldon Rosengarten at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now.
Memphis's oldest restaurant, Coletta's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Coletta's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletta's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletta's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletta's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletta's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletta's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
Stay tuned for Coletta's 100th anniversary coming up soon.
The moment you fire up a Gator UTV, the engine has your full attention. The completed job is on the horizon, and the trail meets its match. Just like that, you made short work of a long to-do list. Run with us on a John Deere Gator UTV. With effortless four-wheel drive at the flip of a switch and our smoothest shifting transmission yet. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere Gator for more.
Whether you're driving for distance, pitching for precision, or putting to win it all, come to Edwin Watts Golf Shop to get custom fit for all your clubs throughout your bag. Hit a few balls and let our team show you the latest swing technology and data that will help optimize your game. Having each club tailored to become your gamers will help you start shooting lower scores. Let Edwin Watts Golf Shops help you make every shot the perfect one. Come in and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochin and Brett Norsworthy.
Thank you very much, Brian Davis. We welcome you back into Sports Time. Dave will be back on Monday, but starting on Thursday, September 2nd, Bill Bender will start his run with us all the way through the national championship game when either Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, or Oklahoma will be crowned national champion. He will be with us on Thursday, but there's a lot more to it between now and the end. A little tease today from Bill Bender in OHIO, and we welcome him in. And, Bill, so glad we're to this point this year as compared to where we were a year ago today.
Oh, for sure. You know, there's a lot of excitement. There's been a lot of changes in the game this offseason. And, yeah, that COVID shadow is still out there. There's no doubt about that. But hopefully we're able to get a season in without incident.
And, Bill, I think I've read where the the very famous picture that was going around this time last year, and I think it was at a Georgia Tech game in the 1920s around the Spanish flu, of everybody in the stands with some type of mask on, and in those days everybody in a coat and tie and a big old hat. I think that was the year after the big hit from the Spanish flu, but everybody was still being concerned. I think we will go to stadiums, and for sure in the press box, and maybe even outside among the general public, wearing some type of face mask will be required.
Probably, and that seems to be the way this is headed. Unfortunately, I mean, the Delta variant is out there, and it's scary. But as long as the vaccination rates are high enough, and one of the things I think they could do immediately, and it won't be good, but they could take fans out of the stands again. They're going to get the games in. It's just in what way can they get the games in, and that could be one of the alternatives if we go down that route again.
Yeah, and Brian Dacus and I were just talking about what type of capacity could it be, because you're seeing, at the Summer League in the NBA, you're seeing indoors, 6,000 and 8,000 people crowd, a third to almost half full at those arenas. So outside, we should be able to. But Bill, I don't have any problem with showing a proof, but the forfeit point really comes up. Do you think we will see forfeited college football games?
Well, we can see anything. I hope not. But, that is a motivation that Greg Sankey used at SEC Media Days to perhaps increase the vaccination rates at some places. And makes sense. I think that there's just not that built-in wiggle room this year for a delayed season, because it's out there. It's going to be hard. Teams may forfeit games. It may impact the college football playoff race. I hope it doesn't, but that possibility certainly exists.
And it impacted last year, but it sure exists for this year. If the Big 12, Bill, could go back, if you could give them some free advice over the last 3 years pertaining just to football, what would you tell them? Hey guys, when you turn left there, you should have turned right. What would you backseat drive and tell the Big 12 where they really made their biggest mistake?
Well, I don't know. You got to keep Texas and Oklahoma happy. Obviously, they were looking to go somewhere for a while. It didn't happen overnight, and they could have expanded. I think they did what they could, but the league is very controlled by Texas. So I don't know how much longer that was going to last. So, the college football landscape is going to change some more. I don't know if there's going to be a ton of realignment, but with the Big 12, I think the thing to watch now is, what do they do next? Do they go join the Pac-12 in some capacity? Do they try to team up with the American Athletic Conference, or option 3, which hadn't got talked about much? Do they just stay put, play with 8, and if 6 conference champions get the new playoff, then you'll probably get a team in more often than not.
What's the best route for
them? I don't know. That third one for now sounds about right.
Pretty good.
It doesn't it doesn't necessarily mean that your conference collapses. The last football conference to collapse was the old Southwest Conference. And some of those schools know all about that. So I think that might be the way to go for now. And then, if you accept who you are, you could add some American Athletic Conference teams, maybe add BYU and go from there.
Yeah, or Boise, a couple of options, but I don't think it should have to go the way of the Edsel vehicle.
No, and that's it. So, but yeah, the Pac-12 could be in play. There could be some realignment there, and you never know. The Big Ten could go after some different schools, and then the ACC and Big Ten could play chicken with some schools. A lot could happen, but right now, I think it's kind of wait and see, and we'll see what goes from on. Once Oklahoma and Texas get in the SEC, then it'll be very real for everybody.
Other than Notre Dame, what would be Mr. Perfect for the Big Ten? To have one team.
North Carolina. Maybe Duke and North Carolina.
Good.
You get the academic institutions, you get the basketball rivalry that's ready to move to a new kind of chapter with Kay and Williams.
Very
out.
sufficient in football to good.
North
yeah.
Carolina's an up-and-coming brand. I mean, maybe they'll look at Virginia, but, I mean, I know a lot of people are saying Iowa State and Kansas, but I don't know that makes the same impact from a brand value as maybe a North Carolina Duke Virginia combo.
Bill, I ate lunch with a huge Iowa State Cyclone fan. Yes, here in Memphis, Tennessee, and we love Iowa State. When they've been here to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, they show up in force. Didn't really like the outcome of the last time they were here against the hometown Memphis Tigers, but their fans are great to be around. And I said to him at lunch, and I was not being patronizing, I was serious, best tailback-quarterback combo in the country. Did I tell that man the truth?
Who's that? North Carolina?
No, Iowa State.
Iowa State? Yeah. I mean, Iowa State, yeah. I mean, it's up there. I mean, you got an experienced quarterback with Purdy. I think Oklahoma have something to say about it with Rattler and Kennedy Brooks or Eric Gray.
And Eric Gray, yeah,
but I think
Memphis.
Iowa State had the most – I think they had the most All-Americans on our preseason All-American team, and Purdy wasn't even one of them. So when you have Charlie Kohler, Breece Hall, and Mike Rose at linebacker, Brett, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I've got Iowa State 8 in my preseason top 10. I have Iowa 10.
It's going to be a huge game in September.
Won't it? But it always is, even when they're not, nationally known.
Well, Iowa State, this will be their highest preseason ranking ever. And Iowa feeling pretty good where they're at. They got the best, you want to talk about a best, I mean, they've got the best interior lineman in the country in Tyler Linderbaum. And some solid pieces around him and on the defense. So and Matt Campbell is 1-4 against Iowa. So that's a huge game, and that'll be a lot of fun to watch. And it's a big night in Iowa tonight too with the Field of Dream game, but be a little bit bigger when the Cyclones and Hawkeyes hook up.
This Cy-Hawk game, always good. Bill, let's go rapid fire to a couple of these conferences. We'll start right here with the AAC, and let's go rapid fire. Biggest preseason storyline in the AAC.
Cincinnati, can they break through? Can they, go undefeated and push the playoff conversation? Got Indiana and Notre Dame in the offseason. I like their roster. There are challenges. I think UCF with Gus is also a good storyline, but and Memphis will be good as well. But I think, a lot of the focus is on Cincinnati.
SEC.
Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M, I think. Are they ready to seriously challenge Alabama? They've lost the last 3 meetings by 23 points per game. Not easy. I mean, Georgia, too. Georgia's looking to break through with Kirby, but, Alabama lost a ton of guys, and is it time for someone else in the SEC to break through and win it?
ACC.
Clemson still with DJ Uiagalelei. It's not so much what they are going to do in the ACC. They're still going to be very good. Maybe North Carolina or Miami can challenge them, but what they do when they get to the playoff again. They've been embarrassed the last 2 games they've been in the playoff, and can DJ Uiagalelei take them to the next step?
And on defense, kind of the first real questions of Brent Venables, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. I mean, it wasn't, they scored points in those games. It's just Ohio State just was one step ahead the entire game, and that's very rare with Brent Venables. LSU, I mean, obviously that was one of the best offenses of all time in college football history. Also just one step ahead most of the game. So I think those two definitely worth watching.
Your backyard, the Big Ten.
I mean, Ohio State's going to be really good. We wonder if Quinn Ewers is a factor at some point after the huge NIL deals he signed. I think, but a lot of the attention is going to be on Michigan and Jim Harbaugh and tough schedule. We do this because I know it's a running joke on our show, your show here, but what's it mean for him if they go 8-4 or 7-5 against a pretty tough schedule? So I think it's a show me year for the Wolverines.
Far Penn State and James Franklin, has Michigan run a little interference for him and the spotlight not as bright because Michigan always gets the attention of the team that maybe should be doing better?
Yeah, I mean, and Penn State beat Michigan last year, and both of those teams had terrible years. I mean, call it a COVID pardon, whatever, but yeah, I mean, Michigan and Penn State, I mean, they're the two programs that are supposed to be in Ohio State's neighborhood, and Penn State's both teams have given them some decent games on the field, but again, nobody's touched Ohio State in 4 years, and I don't think anybody will this year either.
I wouldn't say best player nobody knows about, because plenty knew about him last year, especially on the Big Ten opening night upset that he engineered against Penn State that I really think started kind of the unravel COVID-19, COVID pardon year. Michael Penix is worth the price, isn't he?
He is, and certainly somebody to keep an eye on. And obviously his health will be watched. They've got a tough opener against Iowa, too. There's some big Big Ten games out of the chute.
Penn State?
You got Penn State, Wisconsin, Indiana, Iowa, even Illinois, Nebraska, Minnesota, Ohio State. Those are some pretty big Big Ten games to start the season, and not much of a tune-up for all of those teams.
The SEC first-year head coach, you think, could maybe not pull what Gus did in his first year, and I don't think anybody's expecting that out of Brian Harsin, but the SEC first-year head coach that could have a exceptionally good year.
Well, I don't know if any of them are in position to have a great year. Harsin probably get the most wins, but probably the most positive vibes have been Shane Beamer at South Carolina, and he's been doing and saying all the right things. He's obviously been groomed for the spot. I've seen when I lived down there, Steve Spurrier, when you recruit well down there, you do well. And if he can recruit in that South Carolina area and get some guys, maybe they can compete in the SEC East.
Bill, I'm sorry, I didn't know you had South Carolina background in your career resume. What years and where were you based in South Carolina?
No, Sporting News offices are in Charlotte. So when I first started down there, I did my wife worked at the Rock Hill newspaper, so I was down there covering some high school ball with when Jadeveon Clowney and Stephon Gilmore were down there. So, yeah, I've seen how good the ball can be in South Carolina. And when those kids decide to go to South Carolina and not Clemson, Clemson's obviously getting a lot of these kids now.
Did you see Marcus Lattimore in high school?
I did at a scrimmage. So that's one of those, when you see how good he was, I got him before. He was very good. And obviously, South Carolina got him. So before his knee injury, you were looking at an NFL running back, there's no doubt.
I don't think people realize it. It's not a lot of them, but pound for pound, it's great high school football in South Carolina. It's so good now that we had a guest on at SEC Media Days that said that South Carolina's getting players that they wouldn't have gotten except for Clemson's just having such the pick of a national flavor.
Yeah, and that's part of it. The ball's really good there. And then if you can pull some kids down from Georgia to Florida, that's why I like Beamer. If he can kind of freshen up that program. I think Josh Heupel's got a tough job because there's so much going on at Tennessee that it's like not even about the football most of the time, and trying to keep that fan base happy, it's not easy. But if they give him a chance, he's married to the right athletic director, and they can do all right.
Agree. They almost have to. If nothing else, after kind of the years in the wilderness, it adjusts your reality barometer, and then you finally realize we've got to get behind somebody, and Danny White and Josh Heupel's worth getting behind. Bill Bender, we love having you. We can't wait to the next time we visit with you. It'll be week 1, real game week on Thursday, September 2nd. We'll just be a few hours from Tennessee kicking off against Bowling Green that night. We thank you for your time any time of the year, and we look forward to having more time with you. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me on, Brett. Take care, man.
You got it. Bill Bender from the Sporting News, and we love having him with us during college football, and it's really getting closer. 16 days now until the start of college football, and I saw a lot of Peyton Manning number 16 jerseys out there on Twitter today with people with the various college football countdowns. Here's something you like to count down to. You can enjoy it any time of year, whatever season it is. 2 places to do it at. Either place, the new Collierville Commissary, where I was yesterday at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown. Memphis-style barbecue. The ribs are terrific. Authentic Memphis-style, great food. That means slow. That's their way. Begin that barbecue feast with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales like I did yesterday. 2. Not 1, not 3, but 2. And I told the nice waitstaff person, I said, I just want to Don't surprise me with a bigger order because I can't eat that much. I want to save room for dessert. So I got the 2 tamales. You can get the smoked chicken wings. I don't know if you can order just 2 smoked chicken wings, but they may accommodate you at the commissary. Then dig into the ribs or the shoulder or a sandwich like I got yesterday. And with all the trimmings, beans, slaw, deviled eggs, bread as well, you can get it by the party pack, 6 packs, 8 packs, 12 packs. And don't forget this. If you're craving an easier way to order, start your order at commissarybbq.com, commissarybbq.com, or text commissary, 2 M's, 2 S's, to 33733. If you're craving an easier way to order, start your order at commissarybbq.com or text commissary to 33733. Save room for dessert like I did yesterday, and I told her, I've saved room, but for the smallest piece of lemon icebox pie you can cut, she did, and it was terrific. The best lemon icebox pie I've ever had anywhere. The banana pudding, all the desserts, so good. 901-754-5540. Online at commissarybbq.com in Collierville and Germantown. Great party areas, getting ready to get cool enough to watch football outside, and we're ready for tailgating. Next Friday night, a week from tomorrow, tailgate out at high school football with the great food from the commissary, either the new Collierville commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown. We break. We come back and round out hour number 1. Bryant Dacus with me today, and we need you to be a part of this show at the AutoZone text line, 901-360-8255, or the AutoZone phone line. Get in the zone at AutoZone. You're listening to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Grab a seat with Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour. Weekdays from 1 to 3 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage, factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
You're ready to get out and get moving. And whether it's surfing, playing tennis, or hiking every path you can find, you're going to need some essential new gear. Essentials that are even more rewarding with the Bank of America customized cash rewards credit card. You can choose to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Visit bankofamerica.com/more rewarding and apply now. The essentials have never felt more rewarding. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
It's hot outside and your air conditioner just quit. Quick, who do you call? Automatic Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, of course, with 24-hour emergency service available. Automatic understands your house is unique, so they work fast to find the right solution for your family's comfort and budget needs. And with financing available and payments as low as $75 a month, it's never been easier to make your home comfortable. Call 363-4636 or go online to itsautomatic.com. Turn to the experts at Automatic Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
All right, if it were election night and we had John King at the big board getting ready to call a state, kind of pinpointing Bucks County in Pennsylvania to go one way or the other, we're at the big board, everybody now saying, move it to the Tigers for Amani Bates.
Yeah.
And the Electoral College votes.
It's looking good.
Feels like it should be any second, but it's felt like that for 2 days.
Yeah, and like I said yesterday, I mean, the only thing I can think about is that he's trying to figure out how he wants to do his commitment date.
And let it be in any style he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's permissible according to the NCAA. Send the Tiger fight, the pep band up there.
Yeah.
Play the fight song at it.
Yeah, have all the cheerleaders up there.
And I retweeted it. It was from a Louisville media person, Mark Ennis, hosts a very popular afternoon talk show in Louisville, and he tweeted out that U of L should put their 2013 national championship banner back up immediately, and whatever fine they get, it can't exceed what the fine is for Baylor, and just let it roll.
Yeah, why not?
It's what we talked about yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Every banner, every media guide, notation, italics, asterisk, bold print, just go back to listing it however you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Surely the NCAA wouldn't get mad if the Tigers sent the pep band up, would they?
Well, with it being Memphis, they probably would.
Probably would be. And that last team to really get hammered by the NCAA, it's got to be somebody.
Yeah.
And it really looks like it was and will be Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Who will be the first one hammered over improper NIL dealings? I got a few guesses.
Give them to me.
Well, they're local.
Yeah.
Tiger basketball and Ole Miss football.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Wouldn't that be a fate worse than death to be the first one that you had improper inducements to the NIL when there's no rule book around it? It's anything goes for it.
Yeah, and it seems like people are just making up rules as they go, and so we'll see. I'm sure somebody's going to get caught up with something.
Somebody will, and somebody will have to be made the example of. The addition of Amani Bates, we know what that's going to do to expectations. Fine. I was expecting a lot before during.
Yeah.
Certainly in the last week with last Friday's announcement, sure expecting a lot. The expectation for Bates will be really go deep. Go to the 8. Go to the 4. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. They got to produce once they get out there. We've talked about preseason rankings. They're everything. You can talk about this, but these are two young guys. They're going to have a lot of pressure on them.
But it's a young sport.
Mm-hmm.
You will run into that team in the NC tournament more likely in a second-round game. Let's say the Tigers are that 3 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you would open against a 14. That should be easy. I know historically there have been some losses there, but more times than not, the large percentage of the three seed victories are in the NCAA record book, in the tournament record book. Second game, then you'll get a 6.
Mm-hmm.
1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, 3 will play 6. Should be favored, but that's when you run into a team like not even George Mason, not Sam Houston, but somebody with 3 or 4 senior starters, decent point post presence, and that guy that can light you up for 7 or 8 made threes. You run into that, you could lose that game easily, very easily.
And we've talked about it though that this is why I think if they do lock up Amani Bates, this is going to be bigger than that 2019 class just because you've got those guys. You've got Landers Nolly, you've got Lester Quinones, you have DeAndre Williams, Alex Lomax. You have a lot of veteran guys on this team that could really push you once you get into those long weeks during conference schedule when you're playing a Tuesday and a Friday or a Wednesday and a Saturday, and then once you get to the tournament,
on the road,
yeah,
you
exactly.
Get into that Tuesday, Saturday, one of them's going to be on the road,
and so you're traveling a lot. Those are going to be the tough days for these freshmen, and that's when you're really going to have to rely on the Landers Nollies, the Alex Lomaxes, those type of veteran guys. And I think they've been through it, and that NIT run last year really kind of gave them that confidence that hey, we can do this come tournament time. It wasn't the tournament. tournament, but it was a tournament, and they ended up winning.
It was experience,
Mm-hmm.
and there's nothing like it. We all know that for reasons much bigger than sports, reasons much bigger than a packed FedEx Forum for Tigers or for Grizzlies games. We want to get through to whatever the other side may be whenever on the virus. But I do know this: if we go into college football season and have September limitations of capacity, well, we know college basketball is largely played during respiratory, flu, and cold time of year. If outdoors at the Liberty Bowl in October is limited, indoors in November at FedEx Forum will or should be.
Yeah, and that's going to be the big question mark. I think people are going to have to pay attention to what happens during the football season to see what's going to happen come basketball season.
It's the tarot card to tell you what's going to happen during basketball season, and almost no way we have a breakout red hot with COVID and things like that go with that in September, and then all clear in December, because in December is when everybody's kind of phlegmatic and stuffy. Oh boy, I hope it doesn't impact it. When we come back, I know he will impact us, and that's Keith Smith from Yahoo Sports talking all things NBA. You're listening to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Dr. George Flynn, Chairman of the Board of Flynn Broadcasting. Other stations might consider you to be a listener. I don't, and we don't. You are a family member, and I want the best for you and your family. So please get vaccinated against COVID. It saves hospitalizations and can save your life. I've had 3 rounds of vaccines on clinical trials with no side effects other than maybe a sore arm for 24 hours. I want to protect you, my family, and would never suggest something that might harm you. Please get vaccinated and feel safe in knowing you've done your part to beat COVID-19. I care about you, so please get vaccinated. All of us at Flynn Broadcasting want to keep you healthy, so please get vaccinated.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claim specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
You're ready to get out and get moving. And whether it's surfing, playing tennis, or hiking every path you can find, you're going to need some essential new gear. Essentials that are even more rewarding with the Bank of America customized cash rewards credit card. You can choose to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Visit bankofamerica.com/more rewarding and apply now. The essentials have never felt more rewarding. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
Right now, a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic motor oil is just $18.99. It keeps your engine from breaking down without breaking the bank. Yep, a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic for $18.99 is not just a great deal. It's the break you've been waiting for. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. At participating locations does not include state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Advertised sale price may not be available in some states. Offer ends 8/31/21.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Hour 2 begins now on this Thursday afternoon, October 12, 2021. 16 days out before the start of college football. Tonight, the first full week of NFL exhibition games, and I will be watching tonight when it's Riverboat Ron against Bill Belichick. 2 Super Bowl coaches. I may have heard about Bill Belichick and his Super Bowls, but Riverboat Ron getting the Carolina Panthers into the Super Bowl Sunday for Super Bowl 50, Peyton Manning's last game when he was head coach of the Carolina Panthers in the Cam Newton MVP year. That's tonight. Also, Summer League, it continues. A lot of questions last night. Zaire Williams with the big game. Grizz Twitter told me last night he's on his way to the Hall of Fame.
Really?
Yeah, that's a lot to judge by one Summer League game.
Yeah.
Let's get Keith Smith's opinion on Summer League and all things NBA as he continues to be with us on Thursday afternoon, and we have just loved it. And the NBA, it never rests, Keith, and he joins us now from Yahoo and from Spot Rack. It never rests, does it, Keith?
No, yeah, especially not right now. But it feels like the finals, I know they ended about a month and a half ago now, but it feels like I guess not a month and a half ago, about 3-4 weeks ago. Sorry, I'm thinking on regular timeline. See, I can't even get it straight.
No, we never have regular time anymore on anything. You know that.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, everything is running together. I'll be, as much as I love basketball, I'm looking quite forward to the end of August and being able to take a breath for a minute, maybe actually read a book for a change or something like that.
How do you grade Summer League? What are you looking for, like for a Zaire Williams?
Yeah, I was told at my very first Summer League by an NBA executive that Summer League doesn't tell you who can play, but it can tell you who can't play. If a guy looks really bad at Summer League, it's a little bit of a red flag, unless you're really asking that player to do something completely different from what their role has been in the past and those kind of things. And sometimes you see that if it's, hey, we really want you to run the offense and be a playmaker. That may not be something a guy's used to doing. Or we want you to get up, 7, 8 3-pointers a game, and that guy's only taken, 1 or 2 a game previous and those kind of things. But when a player looks great, it's certainly not a bad thing. You'd rather them look great than not great, but we don't want to overreact to it too much because these guys, half of every roster is made up of guys who aren't even probably going to be on G League teams. So that's something to factor in as well. We've got to, kind of get into this and see, where guys, how guys are performing, but let's just not go too crazy. But it's, fair to get at least a little excited.
I don't know who that first boss was, but that was wise, sage advice. And didn't you just describe Jimmer Fredette? When you can't go in Summer League, you don't have a chance when it really matters.
Yeah, no, there's definitely been a lot of guys like that. Well, what happens is they come from the college game where they looked great, and now they're going up against, a lot of times, especially when they're going against guys who have been in the NBA for a couple years, if it's a third-year guy or a guy who even has 1 year ahead, it's just a very different ball game for them. Those guys are generally stronger, quicker, more athletic, and those kind of things, and that can cause those guys some problems.
Keith Smith, the NBA free agency, mostly done, the bigger deals. There will be some fill-in deals, correct, but most of the big headline-grabbing deals done?
Yeah, there's a couple free agents out there that are still pretty good. A couple guys on the restricted market like Lauri Markkanen and Josh Hart. Paul Millsap's still out there. So there's still a handful of helpful players. But for the most part, the big moves are done. Everybody's still waiting to see if there's a Ben Simmons trade. It sounds like people are still expecting there to be one. But we'll see, what comes together with that, if that happens or not. But for now, rosters, what you're going to see teams doing, they're filling out their camp roster. They're lining guys up to come to camp with really the idea of getting them to the G League team after camp ends.
Give me a team or two that Paul Millsap's doesn't win a championship for them, but maybe elevates them out of the first round to the second round or the second round to the conference final, something like that.
I think the single best fit for him is on the Phoenix Suns. I think they could really use a backup 4 or 5 who can really kind of space the floor. That was the role Dario Saric had played for them. And, of course, he's going to miss probably all of next season. Now, they signed JaVale McGee to back up DeAndre Ayton, and then they added Frank Kaminsky, or re-signed Frank Kaminsky, who gives them a little bit of a stretch element. But I think Millsap's a better player than either one of those guys at this point. And I think he'd be a fantastic fit there. As you kind of get deeper into it, he might be able to help a team like the Miami Heat. He's a guy who, because they have Carmelo, who's a 4, they have Dwight Howard, who's a 5, but you could see even Paul Millsap helping the LA Lakers. So a handful of those teams, I think he could really come in, step in, and still do a pretty good job for.
Now, Phoenix would go a little bit against kind of my advancement. That for Phoenix, that would mean push them over the top, wouldn't it? Because they were right there without him this year.
Yeah, I think you got to reset, though. Just because Phoenix was right there this past season,
yeah,
I don't know that we
West
definitely come in. Yeah, exactly. I don't know we expect we come in. Now, I'm not saying they can't get there, because I think they certainly can. I think they're just as good as any of those other West teams. What I think we saw in the West was a handful of teams are going to be right up there at the top. Phoenix, the Lakers, Utah, Denver. I think will be right up there. I think the Clippers are going to take a step back. They're not going to have Kawhi for most, if not all, of the season. I think Portland's slid back quite a bit this year. I think the Warriors have a chance to jump back up, but I think Phoenix still in that mix at the top of the conference for sure.
You mentioned the Lakers in there. They made a lot of additions this offseason, but kind of a lot of older guys, more veteran guys. Are they going to have enough to, those guys injury-prone with their age? Are they going to be able to, get through next year? And do you think they're going to be up there up top?
Yeah, we're going to find out. They've got better depth this year than they had last year. Despite a lot of those guys being older, they've still got a couple spots that they need to do a little bit of work on, but that's kind of an in-season thing where they'll play. I think the key thing was signing all these guys, so many of them, to 1-year minimum contracts. If they're not working out, you just move on from them. You waive them and you move on to the next guy, and that's what they'll do. But yeah, the Lakers are going to be a really interesting and I think a really good regular season team. I'm just not told how good they're going to be when we get into the postseason, because I think Russell Westbrook's just a little bit of an odd fit. But they're going to use this regular season as an 82-game playground to experiment with lineups, closing groups, and see if they can get things figured out.
I said yesterday that if the Lakers, with this many players over 35, if they have one of those guys hurt down the stretch of the year, that could really throw them off. If they have 2, there's no way that they can contend, and they're relying on a younger player at 28. He can't help it, but he's been injury plagued his entire basketball life. It feels like in Anthony Davis. If all that happened, LeBron only winning 1 in Los Angeles and in the bubble, that's not what we signed up for, is it?
Not if you're a Lakers fan. No, that's definitely not where you thought things would be. That initial first year looked like LeBron was coming in, going to join all these young kids and going to lift that team right into contention. Then, of course, he had some injuries. Those kids weren't quite ready, and then they went out and got Anthony Davis. And I don't take anything, as you know, I don't take anything away from them from the bubble title. I don't disregard it by any means. I think it was an earned championship. I think that they proved to be the best team to make that run. But certainly I think it disappointed. But let's see. Every time I count LeBron James out, I end up coming out on the wrong side of that, looking like a goofball. So I think I'll stay away from that one.
Don't discount it. My dismissive tone toward the bubble was more that it wasn't in front of the adoring throng at Staples, and they didn't really get to enjoy it.
Yeah, 100%. That's a lost opportunity for that big time. And they did their celebration when they came back, right? That still didn't have fans there. For when they
really
did a really
great
job with it. But I think this year you're going to see a little bit of that. But the kind of sad thing is half the roster's gone from that championship team. There's only a couple guys left. Mark Gasol wasn't even there yet. So Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and I think Talon Horton-Tucker was a rookie on that team, and that's it.
Whoa.
That's how much they've changed that roster over in such a short period.
Talking about the bubble and everything, we were talking earlier about college football and capacity and everything. Do you think we'll see packed arenas for NBA basketball this year?
Opening night, October 19th?
Yeah, I think so. Unless this Delta variant really starts getting out of control and they, have to start going the other way. But I think that's where we're at now as a country. It's we're open, and it's just going to keep moving forward with this. So I think we're going to see probably, if not completely full arenas. I think it's going to be real close. Maybe they'll do some of the limiting they did on the player side as far as people being down on the floors. In a lot of those arenas, those courtside seats are right there. They're in between the bench and the scores table, and you're essentially sitting on the bench with the players. I think we may see them still back off that a little bit, but other than that, I think we're going to see real full arenas that are super packed again, and I think people are going to be ready to go and get out there and root these guys on.
Yeah, it's pretty pricey real estate that they had to cut out for the playoffs. But Keith, for years, I thought, especially where a lot of the camera people are, the photographers as well on those inlines, the action down there and players getting knocked into them. I thought it was dangerous, but you had to have the proximity. You mentioned the Delta variant and how it's being reacted to. And I say this and I always preface it with, I'm just going by what I read, like everybody else. I don't have any inside sources at CDC, but it appears to me, in what I read, that as a killer, as the plague that ends life, that it's not doing that, but it is putting the pressure on our emergency room and our ICU beds. I just wonder if the league would respond to that. It is not anywhere close to being fatal as we were back in December and January and February.
Yeah, I'll be quite honest. I don't know enough about it to speak, super intelligently on it. I just know that it seems worrisome. I know here in Florida, where I live, we're now seeing the highest number of cases and hospitalizations, even including all the way back.
Yeah.
So when this started, they had to get, extra help in for the hospitals. And now they just had today, a handful of our high medical officials came out and were speaking on, we don't have enough help. We don't have enough people. We need more help. We need more of this, and just, continuing to push. Please go get vaccinated. Do the right thing, by yourself and the rest of, the community around you and those kind of things. So, yeah, I think the NBA, they've acted so far to be fairly, I think, reasonable with their reactions, and I think they'll continue to do so. If they feel like at any point the right thing to do is play games in closed arenas or in front of extremely limited capacity, I don't think they'll hesitate to pull that trigger, but I just don't think it's going to get there. I think you're going to have enough people saying, yeah, you're good. Just be, reasonable about it. And they're going to go, and they're going to go, full force with, getting these games open back up. And my guess is when Milwaukee opens that season, because we know they'll open it as an the Eastern Conference team, rather, they'll open that first night. They'll get their rings and all that. My guess is it will be in front of a completely full arena.
Will we see the Bucks try to repeat it? Do they have enough to go back-to-back?
Yeah, they've got a little bit of depth issues that they're going to have to work around. They're going to have to figure some things out. Losing P.J. Tucker was a pretty big loss for them. They're going to have to figure it out. They'll get Dante DiVincenzo back, who missed the entirety of the playoff run. He was a big player for them, so that'll be big. They were able to keep Bobby Portis. They added George Hill. They brought in Grayson Allen from there in Memphis, who I thought was a nice addition for them as a wing shooter. I think he has a bad rap because of some of the things he's done on the court that people don't like.
He was
but
great
I think
here.
he can certainly shoot the ball, and I think he's a pretty good playmaker. So yeah, I think they're going to be right there again. They most of their key guys are back, and we'll see how much the Tucker loss really comes to play once we get into the postseason, because that's when it'll show up more than in the regular season.
I kind of like the idea of two of the last three NBA champions, both those two out of three, Toronto and Milwaukee, both from the East. Toronto never having had one, in Milwaukee in a long, long time. I like that. I hope we can keep that theme going next year.
I think there's a chance that this is why when we look around, we see these teams went for it this offseason. A lot of these teams said, hey, we're going to load up and go for this. Miami with all their additions. The Lakers kind of getting back at it with the way they did. I think Atlanta added a couple solid veterans and retained John Collins. But Utah, they went deeper into the tax than they've ever gone in their history to add to that team. Golden State just continues to add to their tax bill. Brooklyn's adding to their tax bill. So I think we're going to see these teams are looking at it and saying, there's no dynasty warriors hanging over this season where it's, all right, how do you beat them? You're going to have everything break right to pull that off. Teams are looking at it and saying, why not us? Let's get after this thing, and I think that's what we're going to see.
And Brooklyn could sure keep it going 3 out of 4 from the East with a never having had won it.
Yeah, absolutely. That team is loaded with talent. As long as they're healthy, they should be the favorites to win the championship. They've got good talent. They added some pretty good depth pieces with Patty Mills coming in. They got a couple rookies that look kind of interesting, who I know it seems weird to rookies on these title contenders. And we'll see. Maybe they won't do much, but I have a chance. They think there's a chance they're going to give those guys some minutes and really put them out there and see what it looks like. So that team is about as loaded as we've seen a team come in with, but they were loaded last year and didn't even make it to the conference finals. So that's I think they are my go-to example now for everything can look good on paper, but this is why we play the game.
I know if I coach which one I would prefer. I would much prefer to coach the loaded team. Steve Kerr making the decision to go to Golden State instead of trying the rebuild with the Knickerbockers and his friend Phil Jackson. But for Steve Nash, and they're all hard, but easier or does he have an easy job or a hard job?
No, he's got a hard job, but I think now that he's done it for a year, I think he's in a better position. I think that's why it was really important that he had Mike D'Antoni on staff last year, because Mike D'Antoni was a guy that he could go to and say, hey, when we were together on the Suns and we weren't doing things exactly the way you wanted with a pretty good veteran team, how did you get to us? And that helped him, I think, through this first year as a head coach. And now, he's clearly got the respect of his guys. And as long as Durant, Harden, and Irving are listening to him and doing what he wants, then it's going to be smooth sailing, because everybody else is going to fall in line. And Kevin Durant has spoken multiple times that he really gets along well with Steve Nash. He has a ton of respect for him. And when your best player respects you, it makes everything a lot easier, because that guy carries weight in the locker room like a lot of other players don't.
A team I really enjoyed watching, keeping a close eye on last year was the New York Knicks, with obviously Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett. They just signed Kemba Walker. What does he bring to that team?
Well, if he's healthy and can play, Kemba Walker is certainly going to help them quite a bit, because they needed more scoring and shot creation. Where they really struggled in the postseason was Julius Randle was the only guy who could get a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And they really loaded up. Atlanta did on him. It made it really hard on that Knicks team to score the ball. So they needed to get some guys in there that could score. Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker, I think, are really going to help them with that. The challenge with Kemba is, I think you're probably going to put the over-under on games somewhere between 50 and 60 that he's going to play, and that might even be on the high side. He's probably not going to play very many back-to-backs, if any. That knee it's a problem. It's probably going to be a problem for the rest of his career. But, again, it's a sensible contract. It's, even if you're only getting 50, 60 games and you can get him to the postseason ready to go, you can feel pretty good about that, because there's no back-to-backs in the playoffs. He just needs to be able to go at least every other day, maybe every third day. And I think that's going to be big. So I think that Knicks team did a good job. As the rest of the East improved, I think they did a good job of kind of keeping pace with them. They may not necessarily finish higher in the standings, but they may still be a better team. And come the postseason, that's what really matters.
Another player that just kind of signed, Dennis Schroeder. What was going on with that? Obviously turning down a massive contract and then signing for a lot less. What happened there?
Yeah, just one of those where complete misread of the market, whether that was by him or his agent or a combination of the two, or however it was. He turned down reportedly 4 years, $84 million from the Lakers, and then assumed, all right, well, I'll make that back up in free agency, and did not have all that great of a season in LA. Then really was bad in the postseason, and he also got COVID at the end of the year. He's had some locker room issues, I guess is the best way to put it. He can be kind of a difficult guy to get along with at times for people. So I think still thinking on Kemba. Kemba is not a rough guy to get along with. Everybody famously loves him. Dennis Schroeder, I think part of his issue was there was a lot of point guard talent out there this offseason. He ranked somewhere, 8 to 10, best point guard for, I think, most teams. And once they spent their money on the top-end guys, he was left looking, all right, well, there's no money. And now we're starting to run out of jobs. So I think he did as good as he could to get the $5.9 million from Boston. Huge disappointment. But there's minutes there. There's a role there for him to play. So he can come into that team, play a big role, play a lot of minutes, and hopefully recoup his value by being, a good teammate, showing more than he did this past year.
Final question for Keith Smith, our friend from Yahoo and from Spot Rack. Schedule. Got to be getting close to it being revealed.
Yeah, so that's a kind of hot question that's been going around. Usually we have it by now. It's usually right around the beginning part of August that we get it, because it's usually right after a month or so after free agency. The NBA wants to see, all right, who landed where, who are going to be our glamour teams. And, they kind of work from their tent poles. They work on Christmas Day. Martin Luther King Day has become a massive day on the NBA calendar. So they work on those big days, opening night, opening week, those kind of things. And then they'll kind of slot in the rest of it. So my guess is, from what just putting things together, and I've asked a few questions of people in the league, part of what's happened is some of the people who do some of those operations and logistics things have been helping, because free agency has been draft, free agency, no time to breathe, it's a crush, get all these transactions processed. They've been helping on that side too. So my guess is probably sometime within the next, let's call it 2-3 weeks, we'll see the schedule come out and get together. And part of it is you got to work with these buildings and these facilities too. I think people forget that. Like, for example, one of the teams I cover, the Celtics, they don't own the building. They're tenants. The Boston Bruins own the building, so they get the days the Bruins don't want. So you got to kind of wait till that comes out and then work around that schedule and all those things. It's a pretty big puzzle to put together, but they generally do a really good job with it. But I'm thinking next 2-3 weeks we'll see all that come out.
Keith Smith, thank you for the information. We appreciate your time, and we'll visit again next Thursday, as we'll be closer to schedule release. I'm with you. It's always usually around this time, but they've had a lot to do. And October 19th, it's getting here soon. They got to get the schedule out to start getting some tickets sold. Thank you, Keith.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I can't believe we're only 2 months out from it all starting again. So, but, it'll be fun. I can't wait.
Thank you, Keith. We appreciate your time. Keith Smith with us every Thursday afternoon talking NBA, and with the Grizzlies controlling the arena and the primary dates, there were a couple either-ors on the Tigers' schedule. Got to feel like they've got it kind of a master plan, just deciding on the big TV that he mentioned. And one of the big TV dates here, the national holiday and celebration in memory and commemoration of Dr. Martin Luther King. That's a fun, great day.
Oh, it's always a fun day down at FedEx Forum. But you'd think, with the Grizzlies kind of being the headshots at FedEx Forum, with Memphis putting their non-conference schedule out, you'd think that they're at least a little close, and they at least have an idea of what days they're going to be playing.
One thing, sadly, that may be helping it, what the pandemic has done to concerts, and to people putting on shows. Won't be that much scheduling around that.
Yeah, that's true, and you're starting to kind of see them slowly coming out, but you're definitely not seeing the rate, because those months are really when people are going on tour and going on these concerts in these arenas.
And this is not a complaint. I'm just saying, one time, let's try it kind of for old time's sake. There aren't many Saturday night Tigers games anymore. At FedEx Forum.
Right.
Usually when they have the doubleheader, it's the Tigers at 11 or 12 at the very latest 1, and the turnover for that night. I wish one time, and it'd be fun, PR, it wouldn't hurt anything. How about the Grizzlies do this? Go to the NBA and go, let us have the third Saturday in February. We play the noon game, and let the Tigers play that Saturday night to have that feel. Because that used to be, especially the Coliseum days, there were some afternoon conference games. But Coliseum days, non-conference, it was Saturday night games.
Yeah, and even with
Pyramid and some at FedEx Forum.
Yeah, and I think that'd be a win for the Grizzlies just because you always see those afternoon, early, noon one tip-offs that are on ABC or on ESPN. More eyes on the Grizzlies.
Good point.
And people aren't having to go, okay, well, we've got 6 games Saturday night. Which game am I going to pick with? There might only be one game on at noon, and it might be the Grizzlies. You put them on then, they're getting more exposure, and then you can have those night games for the Tigers.
Yeah, no, again, it's not a complaint, just an idea of one time. Let's just see how it happens. The famous 1-2 Tigers against Tennessee, that was late February, Saturday night.
It was.
In prime time. That was just a lucky break out of the schedule. But I do like Saturday night college. I like Saturday afternoon college. My favorite Saturday is, however it falls, is maybe catch either one a 11, 12 o'clock game at Oxford and hustle back to Memphis or vice versa, and sometimes to a pro game and catch 2 in a day.
Yeah.
I missed all that last year.
Yeah, those are fun. I think Memphis had one of those a couple years ago. I think it might have been a Friday, maybe that Black Friday, and they had a football game during the day and then a basketball game at night,
Sure
and that
did.
was really fun.
Yeah. Always more. We want more, don't we? Always more. I just want to go. I want to get back to the ballpark, the arena, the stadiums, and the fields like normal. We come back, we will visit with no one. We will have our schedules.
Yeah.
We'll have our football and basketball schedules, the dream teams that we would like to see added to Tiger football. 5 for football, 5 for basketball. Greg Gaston at the top of the final hour at 5 o'clock. He will be our next and final guest of the day. We have Greg every Thursday afternoon. But next, and we want yours, please submit at the AutoZone text line, 901-360-8255, or call us, 901-360-8255 at the AutoZone phone line. Get in the zone at AutoZone with us, texting or calling. 5 Tiger opponents you would love to see in the future for football, and 5 for basketball. You can go as crazy and dream as much as you would like. There are no right answers. We just want some answers. That's next on Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
The knowledge that I have matters.
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors. When I talk to people about selling their homes or buying one, my motto is stick to your game plan. I learned this from my friend Coach Terry Tippett. Coach, you didn't go into a game without having a plan, did you?
No, Sheldon. Having a plan was critical to the success of all my teams.
That's right, Coach. Sticking to your game plan helped you win 4 state championships.
That's wrong, Sheldon. It was 6, just like the number of shots you make on a par 3.
Well, Coach, we've played golf together. What advice can you give me about my game?
You probably need to stick to real estate, as you're much better at doing that, or perhaps bowling.
Great advice about real estate, not bowling. And as I always tell people, if they're thinking of selling their home, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and let me be one of them. As they often say, when you want the job done, Coach, who should they call?
Sheldon, of course.
You can reach me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. That's 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com.
Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets and exclusive always-on promotions on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game day. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. Right now, FanDuel is letting you place your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Seriously, no strings attached. Just place any bet you want. If you win, you keep the cash. If you lose, you'll get your entire bet, up to $1,000 back in site credit. What are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started and sign up with promo code BIGHEAD so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code BIGHEAD. 21 older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only for risk-free bet. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline, 1-800-889-9789.
There's now a faster and easier way to pick up your Corky's Barbecue. Order and pay online, pull into the designated spot, text Corky's to 474747, and we'll bring your order right to your car. No waiting.
Cypress View Golf and Recreation is proud to announce an amazing event happening August 14th. We are bringing in Glow Vibe Golf to run a nighttime tournament that will be unlike any seen in the area. Please visit cypressviewgolf.com and look at a short video of what to expect. Entry fees are $65 per player and include dinner with barbecue, beans, potato salad, and a drink, and 2 glow balls per player. Additional glow balls will be available to purchase on site. Come see why Cypress View Golf and Recreation is known as the best country club in the Mid-South.
Upgrade your commute at Acura of Memphis. Seize the thrill and test drive one of our award-winning models, each packed with cutting-edge technology, luxurious amenities, and a driving experience that's sure to awaken your inner self. Driving shouldn't be a chore, it should be an adventure. Advance your drive today, shop our aggressive lease and finance options now, luxury is waiting at Acura of Memphis, or shop online 24/7, visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
The news of Louis Oosthuizen's WD today, Woloshin, was not received well. Not like I thought it would be. But I'm sorry. I mean, we can't add a pick now, can we?
Oh, no, we can't.
I mean, it happened to me with Webb Simpson back at the Wells Fargo whenever they played it in late May or in May or sometime. So,
he still has a shock pick, so he's not completely out of it.
Yeah, let's just see how those shock picks do it, though. Brian Harmon, even through 12, T104. Sure hate that, don't we?
Yeah. Well, Matsuyama, last time I looked, was that even, so I can't really talk.
Thoughts and prayers today, right?
Yeah, a lot of them.
So, games we wish would be scheduled in the future. And I went mostly realistic. There's a couple that's kind of crazy. But mostly realistic. I wasn't swinging for the fences with a home and home with Penn State in football. That's not going to happen.
I kind of swung for the fences.
Okay. I don't mind it. We want yours at 901-360-8255. Come on, Tiger fans, or just area fans, to go out and see a great opponent, but largely Tiger fans, but area fans that would go to Liberty Bowl Stadium to see a game against LSU.
Yeah.
In the neighborhood, but I don't know that you could get a home and home. But you should do that two for one, shouldn't you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think any of those big time schools, it would help you out.
Ole Miss and Tennessee, if it's not home and home, lose their number. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think you at least get a home and home with them.
I think you have to. That precedent has been set. I'm glad for the future Arkansas deal. I don't know that I would have signed two for one though with Arkansas, especially with the controversy over the contract differences in the 90s.
Yeah, and then
when they welched.
Yeah, and
when Arkansas didn't fulfill their contract.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot about that. My dad likes bringing that one up.
Your dad is right.
Yeah, I just think when you're that close in proximity, a home and home is what you do.
A home and home is what you do in the neighborhood. You do the 2 for 1. Is far swinging for the fences. All right, let's swing for the fences, and let's go football first. I started with Ole Miss.
Okay.
And it's in the next time there's even a slightest of opening for Ole Miss is like in 28 or so. And there aren't many openings for the Tigers, so it's a long time. Maybe not as long as that 2050 U.S. Open at Marion that's scheduled for the future, but it's a long time until a renewal for that. And what I always loved about it was when it was the area's opening game.
Yeah.
And doesn't feel like that will ever happen again. So I have Ole Miss on my list. Your first one.
My first one's Tennessee.
They're my second.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since playing Tennessee. And even when they played with semi-regularity, it was never, ever single season.
No.
It'd be home and home and then off a while, and then home and off a while, and then return game and off a while. But it's been a while with Tennessee. Another one?
My second one is Ole Miss.
Okay, so we're right there with those two. Makes too much sense, and with gas approaching $3 a gallon, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame. That's a fence swinger, isn't it?
That's a fence swinger, but I like it.
Would you take a 3-for-1 with Notre Dame?
Ooh, a 3-for-1 is a lot.
One time, though, to go to touchdown, or one time, no, you'd go there 3 times.
You go there 3 times.
One time for the Domers to come here.
I would maybe do it just because of how big of a brand Notre Dame is.
High hard one. Tigers, Notre Dame, opening day of this season. How big a crowd at Liberty Bowl Stadium?
Ooh, this season. I think if it can be full capacity, it's full capacity.
I do too. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm packed. As many tickets as you could print and get sold.
Yeah.
Swing for the fences with one.
My swing for the fences one is Texas A&M.
All right, I had LSU.
Okay.
So SEC.
Yeah.
A&M and the Tigers have played, but a while ago.
Yeah.
Another one for you. I think one more for you.
I have 2 more.
Okay.
I have Virginia Tech on there, and I think that's a realistic one. Maybe not as realistic, but you've got the connection there.
A great connection from yesteryear,
Exactly,
mostly.
but you've got Fuente over there, and I don't see Fuente. I mean, I could see him being opposed to it because that'd look terrible if Memphis went up there and beat them.
I swear, I know everybody calls them the Hokies now. In the 70s, when Jimmy Sharp was head coach at Virginia Tech, and he was a young up-and-comer, couldn't miss out of the Bear Bryant, coaching tree at Alabama. He missed. I swear they were the Gobblers.
Won't surprise me.
they were nobody called them the Hokies then. Down memory lane from that generation, and I think the Tigers are getting ready to do something with them in football. I thought about Southern Miss, but instead I went Louisville.
Okay,
It never had the basketball magic and the football rivalry, but it wasn't bad.
No.
And a great Tommy West win was up at Louisville.
And that was the Black and Blue Bowl is what they used to call it?
No, that was Southern Miss.
Oh,
Southern Miss
no, you said Louisville. You said you almost put Southern Miss on.
Southern
confused
Miss
myself.
Southern Miss was black and blue, and even a long time ago, in the season of 1964, played twice.
Really?
Played home and home in football.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I was thinking Southern Miss.
Okay.
Louisville, that would be a really good opponent.
All right, one more for you.
My last one, Appalachian State.
Worth doing, and I think that would just be home and home, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't give them any.
No.
I know they've won a lot, but they don't have. We're not talking gravitas of 2-1 with them, are we?
No, I don't think so. I think both Appalachian State and Memphis are at about the same, level with each other. So I think you'd get a home and home.
Do you
with them.
tie any football games or lack thereof with some, like Ole Miss, like Tennessee? Don't play us in football. We don't need you in basketball.
I've heard people say that about Tennessee. We have this with Tennessee, this 3-game series that we've been playing, and a lot of people are saying, add football in there. If you don't add football, let's stop playing you in basketball.
Now, I know one thing that really helps everybody, helps both partners. And the example of Ole Miss really helps in the spring and Olympic sports, frankly, the non-revenue producing sports, to keep a good relationship and playing in something because of the proximity.
Yeah. And that's, Tennessee.
$3 gasoline again.
Yeah. I would like Tennessee to be a consistent opponent for Memphis baseball.
Especially right now.
Yeah.
How about that at AutoZone Park?
Oh, that'd be so fun. I mean, they have Ole Miss every year. They have Mississippi State. They have Arkansas.
They have the Arkansas thing.
Add Tennessee. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
That would be. All right, basketball, you first.
My number one, and it might be your number one, Kentucky.
I had Kentucky 2.
Okay.
I had Arkansas 1.
Yeah.
Where'd you have Arkansas?
I didn't even think about Arkansas,
Not at all,
and I should have had them on there.
It was so good at one time. It
Yeah.
was so good a lot of different ways. Coliseum, Barton Coliseum in Little Rock. We don't want to go back to that. Barnhill, Bud Walton Arena, Pyramid. They haven't played at FedEx Forum. Arkansas basketball has never played at FedEx Forum. Been no SEC tournaments there. NCAA tournaments, so many places, and so good. A legendary Sweet 16 game in 1995 in Kansas City, overtime game, 92-88, something like that. Really, really good game. Tigers bounced out of the tournament. Arkansas ended up going to the final game that year. They were defending champions that year. So many good places for them. But everybody agrees about Kentucky, the likelihood of it happening, 1 to 10.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably a 2.
Probably a 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Close enough. Come on, we got to have Louisville on here somewhere, don't we?
I have Louisville on here.
Yeah.
That's my number 2.
Just makes too much sense.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say this. I know it makes some Tiger fans mad, but I'm sorry, it's the truth. I don't know that Louisville ever looked at that series with the passion consistently with the passion that the Tigers did.
Yeah.
But it was good to them. And one thing that hurt the passion of the Tiger-Louisville series from the Louisville perspective is when they finally started playing Kentucky every year, and that kind of left a vacuum for the passion for anything else. It all went to the Kentucky rivalry. Your next?
My next one is Michigan. I think you two coaches that are very similar. They're compared to a lot when it comes to college basketball, just because they kind of came in at the same time, both that NBA background. I think both are building their programs up really fast. I think that'd just be a fun game to have.
My kind of national type that there's never been any pass with, kind of the Michigan example that you're giving, I go with UCLA. With Mick Cronin knowing so much about Memphis and understanding it, I think through the years appreciating it, and a long time ago, but it was the most magical 4 letters in college basketball history.
Yeah.
UCLA. And when the Tigers lost to them in 73 and then went out there in was it the next year or 2 years later, and Clarence Jones had a game. Got blasted at Pauley, but it was worth going. And that was the team to beat, heck, in college sports at that time.
Yeah, and I have UCLA on mine too. They're my number 4. Just because, like you said, that history, Mick Cronin obviously knows a lot about Memphis and their history. I think that'd be a great game to have.
So we're not that far off. My last one, and had a great thing with them, and I love the time of year that they would play, even sometimes around the holidays, a very famous one. On a Monday night, go to the Motor City Bowl for D'Angelo Williams' last game, get home, and on Tuesday night go to FedEx Forum, and Sean Williams and Adam Morrison nose to nose going at it, and then would often play them in February, Gonzaga.
I almost put Gonzaga on there.
And your 5th?
My 5th is Mississippi State.
I didn't think about State because it's just never been – it's never even been the football thing. The football thing is pretty good with State.
Yeah.
And I think it was more off there. We talked the other day, and we even looked up the winning percentage. Mississippi State all-time with a winning percentage over the Tigers in football. What was it, 75%?
Yes.
That we looked up. And, all-time with Ole Miss, 80. The 80 against Ole Miss seems a lot closer, doesn't it?
It really does. And I think that's just more the rivalry.
Seems a lot bigger away.
Yeah,
it seems like
does.
It's a bigger spread for State against Memphis.
And I think I told you this off air the other day when we were talking about it. I think a lot of that, why it feels closer, is just because you're closer to Ole Miss. There's that proximity. They've played them more recently.
Go ahead and say it. They're more fun to hate.
They're more fun to hate, yeah.
It stirs the rivalry more. And I've just never felt it with State in basketball. I would have to look to see even they played last year in the Dallas NIT, but a regularly scheduled game with Mississippi State.
I can't remember one.
Boy, nothing comes to mind of anything recent.
But I just think it'd be a good addition. I mean, they're a solid SEC team. It would be one of those
big-time coach,
exactly.
Ben Howland,
and Memphis
right
is always looking for. You're always looking at those. What are those power games that you have on your roster? And I think you're not that far from each other. They're right down there in Mississippi. I think it would be a good quality game to add.
Third reference, $3 gasoline.
Exactly.
It'd be easier for people. We can't drive to Spokane to see Gonzaga.
No. And it's a game that if either team wins, whether it's Mississippi State or Memphis, that's going to be a game that you look back to come March and you say, hey, they beat a really good Memphis team or they beat a really good Mississippi State team.
And a loss doesn't destroy you.
No, it doesn't.
Either way, that would be fine with me. You make a good case for Mississippi State. It doesn't jump to mind, nor does Vanderbilt. And I remember Vanderbilt games, but it doesn't do a lot for me. LSU playing them a little bit non-conference didn't do much for me in basketball.
I'm actually surprised you had Gonzaga on there because I was going to ask once we were done where Gonzaga fell for you because I didn't think you were going to have them in your top 5.
And just love Mark Few. For football, the LSU thing for football, and I mean this lovingly and respectfully of LSU fans. Yeah, I love going to Tiger Stadium. Wish Ole Miss would win more when we go to Tiger Stadium, but I love going. I think it'd be so much fun for Tiger fans to see that scene on Saturday night, to see those people and that whole demonstration that they put on there, and then to have them to your stadium and they roll into town and take over.
Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun. And like you said, I've never been down there. You've told me stories about it, and it sounds like a ton of fun.
The tailgate scene at LSU football, anything that you can catch in a lake, pond, stream, tributary, ocean, anything that's got water that you can catch, boil, cook, grill, fry, they have it. The tailgate scene there, you know, Oxford with a great tailgate scene, but much more sedate than the tailgate scene at LSU. And the menu at LSU, it's everything you can think of. You walk through there, and it's every food that can be served, including the elaborate desserts in Louisiana. And so much fun to go to a game at LSU. That'd be fun. We'd love yours at 901-360-8255. Get in the zone at the AutoZone text line. When we come back, we'll look at afternoon baseball and everything going on in Major League Baseball. That's next on Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Need to sell your home? You're in luck because I buy houses. All you have to do is call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that PIN, 901-406-1101, or just save it in your phone. Bill at I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses buys houses in any area, in any condition, at any time. As simple as that. I Buy Houses is guaranteed to close in 5 days. So if you need your cash fast, just call Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. Has your house been on the market? Were you just tired of renters? Or is it just time to start over? Well, avoid repairing, cleaning, painting, and prepping your house. Just pick up the phone and call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses. If you're in Southwind, South Memphis, North Mississippi, North Memphis, Collierville, if you can hear this, just call my friend Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101.
I said chantilly lace and eggshell, not matte.
Colby's interior design consultancy is floored with new clients.
Wait, what am I looking at here? This looks like plaid.
They need an admin with an eye for design and a knack for numbers.
Okay, hey, Luke, take a look at this. Do those numbers look right?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Screen for quality candidates with the skills your role needs with Indeed assessments. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Stream all your favorites with the Disney Bundle.
What did you expect?
Disney Plus has Loki and Luca. Hulu has originals like Summer of Soul and Love, Victor. And ESPN Plus has exciting UFC matchups and new episodes of Stephen A's World. Sign up at DisneyPlus.com and get the Disney Bundle for $13.99 a month. Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. Get the Disney Bundle today. Includes Hulu ad-supported plan. Terms apply. See DisneyPlus.com for details.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day. Group play and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Brian, if today you had the Cleveland Guardians plus 16.5, do you think you won your wager?
I would think so, yeah.
You lost by half point.
Man.
17-zip, Oakland A's over the Cleveland Guardians in downtown Cleveland today. Cleveland season slip-sliding away, and with the news of Terry Francona being ill, not good. 17-zip A's. Phillies 2-1 over the Dodgers in Philly today. And the Cardinals, they win earlier today, 7-6 in Pittsburgh over the Pirates. 7-9-1 for the Cardinals, 6-10-1 for the Pirates. The Cardinals scored 1 in the first, 4 in the fourth, 1 in the sixth, and 1 in the ninth. Needed that one in the ninth to win 7-6. Now 58-56 on the year. The Cardinals haven't had a losing season since the 2007 season. That's the longest in the National League. Does that matter that much to you?
No, not really.
Not me either. I guess, okay, that's like Miss Congeniality Award.
Yeah.
Great, thanks.
But what are they doing now?
Third runner-up.
Yeah.
You didn't have a losing season. 4-4 Nationals and Mets in the top of the seventh. 16-3, the Brewers blasting the Cubs on the north side in the eighth. 20 hits for Milwaukee on the day that the Cubs released Jake Arrieta. Tigers 6-2 over the Orioles in the top of the sixth. 3-1 Rays over Boston after the 20-8 drubbing the Rays suffered last night to the Red Sox. 2-1 Seattle leads the Rangers in the bottom of the seventh. And in the top of the second, the Reds 4-1 over the Braves. The Braves this morning in the newspapers, if you still get one, they were tied for first in the National League. The first of the doubleheader, the Mets 4-1 over the Nationals in a 7-inning doubleheader game. 12 hits for the Mets. Marcus Stroman, the winner, to take him to 8-11, 2.79 ERA. The Phillies and the Braves are back in it in the National League East. We'll see if the Mets can stay close and have a good now to end of the year run. I don't think you're either going to win the division or you're going to be left out. It's not going to be a wild card there. The wild cards in the National League will come from the West, with right now wild card 1 being a .600 winning percentage baseball team in the Dodgers, 69-46. Wild card 2, the Padres, 66 up, 50 down, but 8 back of the first place Giants, now 32 over 500. The Pirates, they are bad. Now the eight losses in a row, 41-74 on the year. Just need 2 more wins to make sure they don't have. No, the 62 Mets were 42. No, they were 40-120. They did not play a full 162. So the Pirates are already going to be better than that. On 62 Met watch, Arizona 35-80. They'll get there. They won't top that. And Baltimore 38-74. They won't get there either. But the Cardinals, they're not going anywhere this year. And I was on with a friend of mine in St. Louis, and I made the case that the Cardinals need to be patient in the offseason and not have a fire everybody mentality, unless from now until the end of the year just really fell off the deep end, and they needed to shake up things to show it to the fans that they were doing something. This person responded to me that they thought that Mike Schilt was very safe and that John Mozeliak was very safe, but that John Mozeliak would have to go out and make a deal this offseason. I don't know what they're going to deal. I don't know how much they have to deal with at AutoZone Park at the minor league level. Even at the AA level, how many prospects the Cardinals really have. You mentioned the other day, and it's a good story that's made its rounds. You mentioned it yesterday. It was the first mention of it that I saw. J.R. Smith, the basketball player, now petitioning to play college golf at NCA&T. So if you, at any age, do you have the eligibility remaining in any sport other than the one that you played in? So I know he's not going to, but Bo Jackson couldn't go back to Auburn and play football or baseball, and he's not going to at 59 years old. But if you had the eligibility and you still had something left, could he go back and play basketball? Does it work that way? Could you go anywhere and play? Because J.R. Smith didn't play in college, so I guess he could go to any place but not play basketball any place. If you were good enough, could you go back, and young enough, could you go back and play football at a different place than you played basketball, or vice versa? I just don't know. Do you know the NCAA rule on playing another sport after completing your eligibility in one?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or never having competed at all?
I don't. I mean, I guess if you think about it logistically, he never went to college. And so if he's not going, I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to say, J.R. Smith, you can go back to North Carolina A&T and play basketball. You can be, a starter. You definitely can't do that. But, I mean, if he wants to go play golf, he never technically went to college. So
I wonder how good a player he is.
I've heard he's pretty good.
At almost any level of college golf, you better be pretty good.
Yeah.
And usually you're not as good as you think you are when they get out there.
That's true. Now, my question is, so let's play the what-if game real quick. Let's say he gets cleared. He joins the North Carolina A&T golf team. Let's say he just is as great of a golfer as people say. And that would be real fun. Let's just say he's as great of a golfer as people are saying he is. He goes out and he goes to the conference tournament or whatever, or even to the NCAA tournament. What are these other kids that are, these 20, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids going to think? But would you love it if this grown adult who's been playing golf forever with pros, playing in pro-ams, is beating you in the tournaments?
If he's better, he's better.
I guess so.
I think they would love the cachet
of
having
absolutely.
NBA champion around.
Absolutely. But my thing is, are people going to say, well, he should have played 10 years ago. He shouldn't be out here, because we were all questioning, should he be able to play? Should the NCAA clear him? I'm just wondering, are fellow athletes, opposing athletes, going to have those same questions?
And it on a college campus.
Yeah.
College golfers like to party.
Oh, yeah, they do.
The post-match parties at J.R. Smith, that could be a lot of fun.
The Henny God.
A lot of fun in our final hour. It starts with Greg Gaston. It starts Talking Tigers. That's next on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wollo said hello.
Napa know-how.
At Napa, get a $10 gift card when you buy a 5-quart jug of Mobil 1 motor oil for $27.99. A deal so rich, they'll call you an oil tycoon. Yep, with great oil for $27.99 and $10 back. All you'll need is a monocle. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations does not include state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Advertised sales price may not be available in some states. Rebate restrictions apply. Offer ends 8/31/21.
Cypress View Golf and Recreation is proud to announce an amazing event happening August 14th. We are bringing in Glow Vibe Golf to run a nighttime tournament that will be unlike any seen in the area. Please visit cypressviewgolf.com and look at a short video of what to expect. Entry fees are $65 per player and include dinner with barbecue, beans, potato salad, and a drink, and 2 glow balls per player. Additional glow balls will be available to purchase on site. Come see why Cypress View Golf and Recreation is known as the best country club in the Mid-South.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Sunrise Buick GMC is having their annual tent sale, and the selection or savings are bigger than ever. A huge selection to choose from, big discounts from factory rebates high as $6,000. It's okay if you've got slow credit. Sunrise has over $500 million available for immediate financing with interest low as 0%, an $18 million used car inventory. And remember, Sunrise specializes in cars and trucks under $10,000. See them all at sunrisememphis.com. Savings and fun for all ages. The 33rd annual tent sale going on now at all Sunrise locations. Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
30 final hour starts with Greg Gaston talking Tigers, but first I want to talk to you about DeSoto Auto Sales down on Goodman Road, 5704 Goodman Road. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area. All the cars thoroughly inspected, all checked out bumper to bumper, head to toe, with an unlimited inventory at DeSoto Auto Sales. If it's not on the lot, they'll go out and find that special car just for you at DeSoto Auto Sales, where you're treated like family. You walk in, kind, courteous employees, laid-back atmosphere, no high-pressure sales, but they care about your time, and they want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience. You walk in within 45 minutes, test drive a car, cars, credit approved, paperwork completed, and you're out of there in time to be home or in time to be back at work during your lunch hour, or like right now, to be home in plenty of time to watch sports all night long. They know we live in a world today that time really matters. That's why they keep it simple at DeSoto Auto Sales. Go online and check out the referrals and look at all the beautiful cars at DeSotoAutosales.com, or go visit them at 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales. We talk Tigers year-round at this time. We do it with the co-host of Sports 56 Middays. That's Greg Gaston. He's alongside Eli Savoy every day, 10 to 1 on these airwaves, and we're getting close to football season. No more lightly shaded pencil, no more hype, real football talk. So let's start with recruiting, Greg. Good afternoon, Greg. How are you?
Good afternoon, Brett. Good afternoon, Bryant. Nice to be with you guys.
Great to have you with us. This week, every time I say it, I don't want to put pressure on him. I kind of do. I don't want to do this to Tevin Carter, but what if he is that first blockbuster quarterback from the Memphis area, the Penny Hardaway of football? What if? I know D'Angelo was big and was from the area, and that counts like Keith Lee, and Keith Lee even closer from West Memphis, but a Memphis player from Memphis at that position at quarterback.
You know, when I got here in 1995, one of the first stories I did was covering the dynamic duo of Kenton Evans and
Damon Dotson. Yeah,
Damon Dotson at Westwood High School. And I saw this big guy with a big arm, and I thought, wow, Memphis is going to produce quarterbacks. That's pretty cool. Well, they haven't produced too many. They've produced guys that have been marginally good, guys that unfortunately have run into injuries, like a Will Hudgens, for example. But they just haven't produced at that position like they have at other positions, not only for players that go to the University of Memphis, but that go all over the country. But Tevin Carter, to me, he checks all the boxes. I think this guy can be the real deal. He has the arm strength. He has the intelligence. He has the mobility. He has the athleticism. He can make all the throws. So there's no question there's excitement about him. Now, here's the other thing. He wants to play here. Obviously, he wants to play at home. He wants to play in front of friends and family. But there will be stiff competition. He will not be handed anything. And I said this on Middays today. For the future, and right now you would think with Gunnell's got 2 years of eligibility left. We'll see what happens with this quarterback battle. But Seth Hennigan is a kid who led his team to a state championship in the state of Texas. And he's a good player, and he's not going to back down to anybody. So competition, I think, is great. And you should have that competition at every single position. But Tevin Carter, to answer your question, Stats, could be that elusive stud quarterback from Memphis that we have not seen.
And we've been waiting on him. Greg Gaston with us from the Tiger Sideline, brought to you every week by South Hall Cafe, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, Mid-South Hobbies, 3A Collisions, and Neil's Bar and Grill. When we say there's been a deficit at quarterback out of Shelby County, out of the city of Memphis, that's not a shot at anyone. It's not a shot at the coaches. It's not a shot at the ball players. Because, Greg, I can give you two states in our area that we cover closely that both of us know a lot about the history of ball players produced. The state of Mississippi has trouble producing a big-time quarterback. And the state of Arkansas, I'll count Brandon Allen out of Fayetteville, but that's almost another world from our area, from eastern Arkansas. And I will count Tyler Wilson from Greenwood from western Arkansas. But except for those two, there aren't many produced out of the state of Arkansas, and it's why I was reluctant the first time I heard Mitch Mustaine and being the number one quarterback in the country. And the person that told me that, I said, no way. I said, if it's the number one tailback, I'll buy it. Number one linebacker, I'll buy it. Number one defensive end, maybe so. Not quarterback. That state in a lot of our area, Mississippi and Shelby County, just hadn't produced that.
Well, there's not too many people that know Arkansas like you do, and the football history and also the current state of football. And, I believe what you say. And I didn't even think about that with Arkansas and even Mississippi to a degree, not producing the quarterbacks like we haven't had in Shelby County and in the Memphis area and in the state of Tennessee. But yes, it's not a shot. It's certainly not a shot. There's no rhyme or reason.
Romero Miller was great at quarterback from the state of Mississippi, from Shannon. Romero was great.
Well, Romero was a terrific guy, by the way, too. And, of course, Archie is. Archie, you got to go way back to Archie.
Way back to Archie. I love people who want to say, oh yeah, we got Peyton and Eli. Fellas,
nope.
They grew up in New Orleans. They grew up in the Garden District. That ain't Mississippi.
Right. Pops is from Mississippi, but they're from a different state. But I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason why this drought has occurred and why they're just not producing. I don't think there's anything that you could put your finger on it and go, well, they don't do this, they don't do that. No, it's just it's one of those things. I don't know. I can't tell you why that is the case, but I can tell you from everything I've seen. I haven't seen a ton because, remember, Kevin has gone through a couple of different schools, then the homeschool team that he's now with Pure, which I think now I'm a little confused when it comes to all these.
I had to ask.
Yeah, I had to ask as well. And plus, last year was a disaster. We know that with high school football was a darn disaster, but it was for everything. So now we get to see this kid for his senior year. He has all the attributes to become a really good player. Don't want to put pressure on him, and I don't think there will be pressure put on him. But this is a great get for Ryan Silverfield. And, of course, he has to sign on the dotted line eventually. But hopefully, it seems like, unless something drastic happened, then he would change his mind. But this is a great get. I feel good about it. I've liked this kid ever since the first time I saw him play.
Greg, every time we state we don't want to put pressure on him, I think we are. And then I go out there and say, what if he's the Penny Hardaway of football? But it would be fun. And I said this yesterday, Greg. I don't know why we get so parochial and so hung up on this, but we do. It's very sports fan nature to do it. If he became that big star from the local area, it would matter at the box office. It would matter with donations, and it would matter with people busting with pride of a local youngster. You'd take a player from Puyallup, Washington, if he's good, but you would love to have a local player.
There's always that sense of pride, even though we had nothing to do with it except for his family,
absolutely
friends, coaches,
nothing,
and teammates. Right? They had everything to do with it. But yeah, I mean, all the things you said are true. But the other thing is that first of all, a stud athlete is going to have a chance to do well, name, image, and likeness. But when you're a stud athlete from that city and you're able to make a name for yourself quite quickly, well, there are connections to people you know who own businesses, who may know people that own businesses. And I would think that the sky's the limit as far as name, image, and likeness. And don't look at it because there's probably people out there going, well, this is in Alabama, this is in Oklahoma, this is in Ohio State. That doesn't matter necessarily with name, image, and likeness. It all depends on the companies that you can get to give some of their money in one way or another to student athletes, all above board. So I would think that a stud athlete who comes in, wins the job, produces on the field, makes a name for themselves, not only locally but nationally, would have a great opportunity to make some pretty good coin.
Greg, you're a good one to ask about this. So you got to our area in 1995, and we won't let you leave now. You're not there leaving now. You're a Southerner now, but coming down here, tell me if it's more like this everywhere else you've worked, or if we're more exaggerated about it. We mentioned we wouldn't have one thing to do with Tevin Carter, but his upbringing would be from around here. I think that's kind of the symbiosis. It's a little more that we can identify with. But I have found this out about Southerners. You get really, really kin to someone the better they do. If they do really well, you're almost like first cousins. If they don't do well, you almost look at, well, that's my sister's cousin's kid, and we're so distantly removed. We're really not. You may have the same last name, but you're running from them if they're not successful. But if they're successful, oh yeah, that's my sister's cousin's nephew's wife's kid, and we're tight.
That's funny. We want to claim those athletes, but I don't think this is far into the South. Where I came from, there certainly was a lot of that in Jersey and in Maryland, where I worked in television.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now in South Jersey, I played in a league that one of the schools in the league I played in was Millville High School, and that's where Mike Trout went to.
Yeah.
And it's the Cape Atlantic League, and they're about 40 minutes away from where I live. 40 minutes away, and it's only 60 miles to Philadelphia. We claim him in South Jersey. We claim Mike Trout. We claim him in Atlantic City. He's not from Atlantic City. He's from Millville. It's 40 minutes away, but we claim the guy. So it happens all over the place. You're just so proud of somebody in your area, whether it's sports, whether it's politics, entertainment, whether it's the medical field.
Politics.
Yeah.
Look out. That area is very proud. That's where the president came from.
Exactly. It's whoever is successful in any walk of life, and you either know or know of them, and they're from your area, from your region, you're proud, and you boast about it. No question about it. I think it happens all over the place.
Talking with Greg Gaston from the Tigers sideline, and also Sports 56 middays. You hear him every day with Eli Savoy from 10 a to 1 p.m. on these airwaves. So we wait for Amani Bates. It feels like it's got to come soon. I started the show today. If I were John King at the big board on CNN, I would move Amani Bates into the Electoral College votes to the Tigers.
I want to see who's the guy that did the Olympics. He's from NBC News. He does the elections too. What's his name? And he does all the
Konracki.
Yeah, that guy.
No, Steve Kornacki.
That guy. I want that guy handicapping the Amani Bates race because that guy is so entertaining.
Sleeves already always rolled up.
He is, and then he kind of emphasizes.
Was it hot in the studio, Steve? Roll your sleeves down.
He takes that step into the camera. But
very demonstrative. He sells.
I love
him. Brings.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
But so Adam Zagoria reporting here just about an hour ago that Amani Bates is going to take college visits this coming week or so. Okay, schools are starting. I know they're getting ready to start here soon, but he plans, according to Adam, to take his college visits. University of Memphis, Oregon, Michigan State. Of course, he's also considering the G League. It seems so
Where's
late
the G
in the
League
ball
campus? Where's the student union at the G League?
The G League campus is over at Money University.
I
forget where that's located.
Right by NIL University.
Exactly. But apparently this is accurate, and Adam's he's been on our show a number of times over the years. I think he gets pretty good intel. So this is probably going to be a quick trip. So I wouldn't be surprised if you hear that Amani in the next few days, maybe 4 or 5 days at most, will be coming to Memphis to check out the campus. But to get back to your original point, yeah, the handicappers still give the edge to Memphis. Now, from what I hear with my sources, they feel confident. I just get the vibe a little bit less than the confidence they had in Duren. Duren was like, Greg, it's 100%.
Yeah.
And I would never go on the air and say it's 100% because I always leave a little bit room for error, and he followed suit, and he obviously committed. Bates, again, I'm hearing it is pretty strong, but then when Bates came out on Instagram the other day and he said, listen, everything you're hearing is false. I haven't said anything. Of course, he said it in third person, which was weird, but I haven't said, until you hear it from me, Amani Bates. Everything else is false out there. Again, remember, Michigan State was who he originally committed to, and you got Tom Izzo there. Oregon, speaking of NIL money, with Nike, what they get paid the guy. But again, Memphis continues to be the one where the crystal ball is out and seems to be the leader right now. But still got a ways to go. Things can happen here in the next week or so before he decides to make his decision and elect whether to go to college or to the G League.
We've seen Penny kind of be able to lock down recruits when he gets them on campus or when he's able to go in-home and visit. But also, I mean, this can't be a great thing for Memphis that he's going out and taking visits to Oregon and maybe Michigan State. Do you view this as a good thing or a bad thing for Memphis fans?
I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I think it's he's obviously been considering these three schools, Michigan State, for quite some time. So to go to one final check on campus, and I'm not sure if he's been to these other schools. I don't believe at all he's been to Memphis. So I think that's fine. I think he's doing his due diligence. Remember, you have Tom Izzo can sell, look, man, I'm Tom Izzo. We win national championships here in Michigan State. But Memphis is all about Penny Hardaway and what Penny Hardaway can do for you as a former great player himself at the highest level. Tom Izzo wasn't there. Doesn't mean players don't take that and run with it. They do it all the time with Kentucky and John Calipari. He didn't play in the NBA. But that's Penny's selling point. And I believe the selling point to Imani Bates is that you'll run the show, that you'll be that point guard. I'm going to make you a spitting image of myself. So I think Memphis still has that advantage because with name, image, and likeness now a part of this, it's you can get paid, you can have you can play for a team that has a coach that played at the highest level and one of the all-time greatest coaches on your staff, and a team that you feel pretty good that can make a run. Michigan State's always going to be able to make a run, so they can sell it. And Tom Izzo could always say, look, I've won championships. That hasn't happened at Memphis. But I think the name, image, likeness / NBA connection is now more important to these top recruits than it is, well, we have history of making tournaments and winning championships.
Greg, I'm with you on, and you did it very respectfully, and I'm going to try to do it as well. I'm there on the legend of Tom Izzo, but just won in the year 2000. And for his reputation, his legend, if I'm a young guy and I'm looking at trying to do my thing right now, I always kind of like the future guy over the past guy, and I would view Coach Hardaway is more the future and Tom Izzo is more the past.
Well, I would agree with that, but the one thing that Izzo can say
he's got it.
is that he has produced NBA players, NBA player after NBA player after NBA player. Penny's starting to do that now, right? With Precious Achiuwa was certainly a big hit with him, and hopefully there's a lot more to come. But if you want to look at track record, and James Wiseman, but of course we know his history here, the track record of Izzo is really strong. Now Dana Altman is a solid coach. That is all about, to me, it's all about Nike at Oregon. I don't know that for sure. I don't know if he has this great relationship with Dana Altman from years ago. I don't know that. So I'm just basically speculating here. But I would think the big selling point is they really care about their hoops team. They care about their athletic team, and they have the great support of one of the huge conglomerates in this world, not just this country, Nike.
Greg, I like to keep it on the sports because it's all I know. It's what I really love. And you do it as well. You and Eli do that, and we try to. But the sports can't get away, as our entire society can't. And Bill Bender said earlier, the cloud of the virus, of the pandemic. Breaking now, the city of New Orleans will be requiring vaccines or proof of negative COVID-19 tests for indoor activities. This will include Saints games, and will include Pelican games come October. If that is instituted here, do you have any great civil liberties problem with that? Or would you show up with your vax card and your ID and any other proof of anything they want? Would you mind?
You know the answer to that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't care.
I wouldn't care at all. I'll bring a DNA report if they need. I mean, I'll do anything.
Hey, you want me to take another vaccine shot? Or even though I've already had my 2 here, I'll take another one.
I'm not scared of a booster. I jokingly said about this time last year, I would take one directly into the eyeball if we can get our old lives back.
Well, look, here's the thing, and again, I'm with you as far as the politics, but it's hard to stay away from it completely. We try to hit and run, make a little comment, and then move on, because what I'm in this business for is to talk about
hits, runs, and errors. It's all I know.
Exactly. But here's the thing. I got to be honest with you. I am concerned. I am worried. I am getting ready for football season as you are, as a part of the broadcast team for Ole Miss. I'm part of the broadcast team for Memphis, as you know, and I'm a sideline guy. Well,
oh yeah,
I had restrictions last year. I'm supposed to be back on the road. The whole crew's back on the road this year. Well, we hope to God in the next 3 weeks things don't change because the numbers continue to rise. So it is scary, and your fan experience could end up being like it was last year. Let's hope it's not. Let's get going on this thing. Let's reverse what's going on now, because I am concerned. There's no question about it, Brett. I am certainly concerned with what's coming up this fall.
And Greg, when you and I say we want to be on the road, it's not for the. It's all fun, and I love, and I know you do too, the crew that you're around. But it's not for the Friday night camaraderie and the meal with the fellas. I don't drink a drop. That doesn't ring your chimes either on trips. It is for, dear listener, it is for the public that I want to be there. It is hard for me. Sometimes it's hard for me with stuff I'm actually there for and I've witnessed to talk about and report on. It's really hard if I'm watching it on TV.
Well, first of all, with me as a sideline reporter, I can't even go on the road trips, and I mean, I can't even be a part of the broadcast because what am I adding? I can't see anything other than what's on the television screen, and Wolo and Jarvis are broadcasting that. What am I going to add? Hey, Greg, what's it like down on the field? Well, I'm not down on the field.
I'm 6 hours away.
No, so it takes the sideline guy, for the most part, out of the picture as far as doing the broadcast. I'm with you. Look, I love the camaraderie and all that, but I'm not going for a Friday night dinner at a different location other than Memphis. I'm going to be a part of the broadcast,
for legitimacy.
To add my insights, but also to add what I'm seeing actually literally on the field. And I can't do that when I'm in Memphis as a sideline reporter for a broadcast that is originating in, let's say, Jonesboro or wherever.
Yeah, you will be going to Jonesboro week 2. Have you started looking at the Tiger schedule? I'm not going to have you do it now. I know you want to do it on your show, but are you close to wins and losses? Have you started that deducing?
I haven't done that yet. I you know what I picked up today, Brett? You and I are old school. You know what I picked up today? The old magazine. Yeah, I got Athlon, and I got Athlon today. And then I'm going to pick up when I can find it, Phil Steele's.
Good for you.
So I'm going to start dissecting it. But I can
now with Phil Steele, I also have you a jumbo, extra size, large bottle of Anacin to read to read it all, because it's like reading Tolstoy.
It's incredible. I mean, I need reading glasses for Phil Steele's magazine for sure. Athlon, I don't think I do, but I can tell you this: I did peek in. This is basically SEC in the American Conference, right? It does mean it has national predictions and all that, but it doesn't break down all the schools like it does with Bill Steele's magazine. But I peeked into the American Conference predictions from Athlon, and this is the lowest I've seen the Tigers, but it's 7th in the American Conference. So I have seen a Phil Steele has them like in like a 4-way tie for 3rd. But I have seen 7.
Well, come on, Phil. What kind of powder did he take? A 4-way tie for 3rd? I mean,
come on, Phil, make a stand. But here's the thing: the coaches poll that came out last week, Cincinnati, obviously the leader of the pack of the Americans, they're number 10 overall in the nation. There were 4 other schools from the Americans that got points. They call them points, not votes. Points. Memphis did not get one, so Memphis would be 6th or lower. You can't tell by not getting any points if you're higher than the rest of the team's not getting points. So they're at least 6th there. They're 7th in the Athlon magazine. And then in the AAC media poll, they were 5th. So the expectations from the outside are not as high. But I could tell you right now, we had Kevin Johns on the show today, Tigers offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
The expectations from inside are really large and strong. And they feel, the heck with all this talk about Cincinnati and UCF, we're going to make a run at the championship. So I love the confidence that Memphis football has. It's all going to, well, not all going to depend, but a lot of it's going to depend, obviously, to figure out the quarterback situation. But I think they're selling Memphis a little bit short from a national perspective.
Greg, I'm going to be out next Thursday and the following Thursday getting ready for college football. I know you'll visit with Dave and with Gabe and with Brian Thin, and I don't want to give it away. Here's where I am on the Tigers' run-up to football season and wins and losses.
Okay.
Right now, here's the only thing, barring a massive injury or something, some players suspended or something unforeseen between now and opening day. Here's where I'm torn: either 8-4 or 9-3. That's what I got to sort out before we visit again in this segment.
Yeah, I did say one day on the show that I don't see any way they can go under 7. 7 would be the basement, and I don't think they're going to do 7. I said pretty much 8, 9, and in a great year, 10. So my numbers are very similar to yours, but I'm going to do the breakdown and have it on my show within the next 2 weeks.
Well, we look forward to hearing it. It's that time of year for all these crazy predictions sure to go wrong, isn't it?
Absolutely, but we love to do it.
But we love to. Oh, you have to. It's Sports Talk Radio. You have to do predictions, don't you? You have to do W's and L's.
The prerequisite, my friend. It's in our contract.
It is. It's the first thing at Talk Radio School. It's the first class you have, like survey history. Greg, love visiting with you. And again, I'll be out the next 2 weeks, but can't wait till I talk to you again. It'll be game week the next time I talk to you in this segment. Thank you, sir.
Incredible. Thanks, Brad. Take care.
You got it. Greg Gaston from Sports 56 Middays with Eli Savoy. He's brought to you every week. From the Tiger Sideline, he's brought to you every week by South Hall Cafe, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, Mid-South Hobbies, 3A Collisions, and Neil's Bar and Grill. So I'll just let it fly, 8-4, 9-3. I ran my 4 losses by the max, 4 losses by Drew Barrett today.
Okay.
And Drew texted me back, no, not one of the losses. No way, you better go with just 3.
And that'd be a great season for Memphis.
Oh, well, great year.
Yeah.
All right, if it's 9-3, go to a bowl game and a chance for a double-digit win season?
Oh, yeah. That's huge.
It's really huge. Wouldn't be any Fenway Bowl if you're 9-3.
No, you would not go to the Fenway Bowl.
It would be better than that.
Yeah.
Even though I think Birmingham now will have the bowl game at UAB Stadium, the new UAB Stadium that looks great.
No, it does.
I drove by it on the Sunday afternoon going to SEC Media Days because I was going to go to a Barons game, and when I pulled up, the skies emptied, and it was going to be about a 2 hour. I wasn't waiting 2 hours to see the Barons play. And close to that ballpark in downtown Birmingham Regions Field is the new stadium for UAB. So even if you have to go to Birmingham, it's no more going to Legion Field.
Yeah, and I drove by their practice facilities. I guess maybe last year, 2 years ago, going down to the beach, they had just gotten it up, and they look really good.
Yeah, they do. What Billy Clark has done at UAB, well, I mean, they had the self-imposed death penalty. They capped football, and then it came back, and he stayed with them. When we come back, we'll catch up on the news that's trending, and then about 5:45, we will wrap up this Thursday with Taco Bell Crunch Time. You can text us at the AutoZone text line at 901-360-8255 or call us at 901-360-8255. Get in the zone at the AutoZone phone and text line. You're listening to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world at sports56whbq.com or on the Sports 56 app.
They've raised the bar again at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. I like to say this is the new standard, the way car business should be done. And to prove it, out of 355 dealers in America that sell Genesis cars, the one in Olive Branch, Genesis of Olive Branch, was top 50 in the country, top 10 in the region, and number 2 in the district. And guess what? They want to be number 1. That means there are opportunities out there for you. It's the safest, and every new latest bit of technology that makes the experience of driving a car better, they've got it at Genesis of Olive Branch. If we start with the G70, the highest performing car I've ever owned, all the way to the G80 or the G90, the biggest of the sedans, you'll love everything about the car. If you would like to try the new SUV, the GV80, you call Vinny Gerard at 662-890-6684. He will bring it out to you. For years, I have talked to you about James Davis, the finest men's store in all of Memphis, the service, the selection, everything that goes with quality. And I've told you recently about the Stant Perfect Fit shirts. Well, now there's the Stant Perfect Fit pants. Absolutely amazing. Only 2 measurements fed into a computer, and all of a sudden, you've got the perfect fit pants. And I'm talking everywhere. The leg, the seat, the bottom, all made to fit your body absolutely perfectly. And there's 80 different fabrics to choose from. You will find the right look, the right fit, almost instantaneously. They start at $162, but you will never find a better pair of pants than these at James Davis Men's Store. And the shirts are still there, and guess what? It's the only place in Memphis that you can find Stant. That's the James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
Installing brand new carpets shouldn't mean putting your life on hold. Enjoy a simplified installation experience at the Home Depot by licensed local professionals with an unbeatable selection of affordable styles, colors, and fabrics that are durable and low maintenance, including options that are odor and stain resistant. And right now, you can get your carpet installed for free. Get started today at the Home Depot. Free carpet installation on purchases of $4.99 or more. No square foot minimum. Excludes in-stock styles. U.S. only. See store for details.
Mount Moriah Auto Sales. What sets them apart? Great selection, quality, high-end to low-end cars, and low mileage. Mount Moriah Auto Sales is under new management. Ask for Emmett or Steven. Check out their great selection of cars or trucks. Choose from Dodges, Jeeps, Fords, GMCs, Infinitis, Porsches, Range Rovers, Lexus, Mercedes, BMWs, even Bentleys. Mount Moriah Auto Sales also has a great service department with 12 bays for everything from oil changes to alignment to new tires. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Pick out your like new car or truck today. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner and right on the price.
It's finally time to get out of the house. So make sure you stop by Family Leisure with great prices on in-stock and incoming products. Keep the kids active with play gyms, in stock, ready for delivery. And by the way, installation from the pros, I always recommend that. Markdowns on remaining game room products and those beautiful massage chairs. And the hot tubs, they're going fast. Get out of the house and get to Family Leisure. Wooden Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
I just saw J.R. Smith swing.
And?
Got the studio TV on Sports Center, and I think he was playing on Wednesday in the Pro-Am in Greensboro.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Really? See, I've never seen it.
He learned how to play the right way. And I've had some golf instructors. This is a question for Ted Butler on Monday, along to JR. And I think Ted has mostly said it. He would rather have somebody at 20 or at 30, whatever time you start golf, that you don't know which end of the club to hold compared to somebody that's tried to self-teach,
right.
A lot of bad habits, don't know where it's going, but they're swinging away at it.
Right.
That swing from J.R. Smith and the putting stroke.
Oh, wow.
Because a lot of times, even for people that learn the right way later in life, the putting stroke can get goofy at times.
Right.
But his looks great. Got a text from a friend of mine. It's Brett. And I understood the tone. Brett, you've talked a lot about the vaccine today and people having it. Do you mind? Aren't you kind of bringing in and violating their HIPAA rights, their health rights. And I asked you way back earlier, I asked Greg, and I sent back, no, I'm not at all. It's one of the most misunderstood laws, languages, things out there. I can ask all I want. You don't have to answer.
Yeah.
And you can tell me all you want about your own personal. Like, here, I'll give it to you. My doctor can't, and my employer couldn't. Like here, Dr. Flynn and Shay, Mike Brewer, and Eli Savoy management, they couldn't tell about my own person. I mean, for years, I didn't talk about having on there. I didn't talk about having multiple sclerosis. I just didn't think it was anybody else's. It's still not. It's not anybody else's problem. It's not their concern.
Right.
Thank you to everybody. It's been nice. I didn't. They couldn't say anything about it. I could at any time, but they couldn't come on there and go, hey, let me tell you about Brett Norsworthy and MS. I can at any time I want it. I'm not going to because I still think this show, whether it's politics or my health or anything else like that, is people's escape from all those real-world issues they have going on. They don't need to hear about the guy on the radio and his health stuff. And the only reason I've asked you and broached the subject today was in the light of what's going on with the Saints.
Yeah, and I think it's important right now just to – and obviously if we were complete strangers, we probably wouldn't ask each other that. But I think it's not –
we kind of know the comfortability of each other.
It's not – we're not just coming on here just talking about it just to be talking about it. It's real news, and it's something that's going to really come in. It's going to be important come football time because I think a lot more – you're going to see this. I don't think you're going to see it at every stadium. In the NFL, they're going to require vaccination cards, but I think you're going to see it at more than just New Orleans. And so I think it's going to become important. It's going to become more of a talking note once we get closer to September and kickoff time.
Yeah, I heard Dak Prescott a few weeks ago when being asked about his ankle injury. He said, can't talk about it, HIPAA. Oh, no, you're the one that can talk about it. You're the one that can fully talk about it. Jerry Jones can't go talk about it.
Your doctors can't go to ESPN and say.
The team doctor, you can't. Hey, let me tell you about Dak's ankle x-ray. It looks terrible.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about the shoulder. I'm not that concerned about the ankle, although it didn't look that fluid when he was in there for a little while and he resumed throwing on Tuesday after a 2-week shutdown. He's signaling that he will play in a preseason game, I think the 21st. I'm a little concerned because without him, Cowboys have no shot.
No, and I think, like you said, him playing in that preseason game is going to be really important. It's probably going to be the most important preseason game he's ever played until back when he was a rookie.
That first one was big.
That first one was big.
Out in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that first one was big, but since then,
I knew he was good.
Oh yeah. Since then, though, this will be his biggest preseason game because a lot is riding on what that ankle looks like, what that shoulder looks like, and that shoulder really couldn't have come at a worse time.
If you had a stopwatch on what you're watching tonight, more baseball, more summer league, more Washington, New England on the NFL Network.
Well, I love the summer league, but I probably won't be paying attention to it tonight. A lot going on. I personally will probably pay more attention to baseball tonight.
It'll be a lot of baseball for me. The Cardinals getting done in the afternoon will be less than if they were going and going decently. This on Twitter today, I'm looking at from Adam Rittenberg's site, ESPN college football reporter, tuition covered for all 36 BYU walk-ons from agreements with a company that makes a protein bar. All 36 walk-ons.
Wow.
All covered. Life's good when walk-ons get cash.
It really is. And I mean, you everybody knows the history of BYU and their alumni and they're just so passionate about that school and about that program. That is just unbelievable.
It's the rivalry. And I only got it from one afternoon sitting by Ute basketball fans at Madison Square Garden. I'm in New York, and I wanted to go to a college basketball game. Duke's playing Utah at noon. Saw a nice man on the street selling tickets. It was a Utah fan. It was by him, normal price. I go in with him. We sat very close to the court, very close. And the connection, he had a connection with Danny White, as I did, who's the Duke AD. Anyway, I'm sitting by him, and he's giving me the whole rundown on the hatred. And I don't mean just sports, between BYU and Utah. That day, BYU's playing in one of those bowl games being played on those first Saturdays in that third Saturday or so in December. he's checking his phone and he's pulling against them as passionately as you can ever see it. And I said, man, I just don't know. He goes, oh, we hate them and they hate us, and we don't want it any other way.
That's great.
And they have the passion. Both BYU and Utah to Memphis for AutoZone Liberty Bowls, and good fan bases. But I thought the more fun one was being around the Utah fans. But good BYU fan base in town. I think the last time, when was the last time they came here? Maybe to play that undefeated Tulane team. But great fans, but no love lost in that series. I'm looking forward tonight in that NFL game that I will watch. There's two being played tonight, but I don't know that Steelers and Eagles are on anything that I get.
Yeah.
I know I get New England and Washington on NFL Network. I want to see Mac Jones.
Yeah, and I think that was gonna be my what am I gonna be paying attention to tonight? So I'll go ahead and talk about it now. I think this preseason for the New England Patriots at that quarterback position is massive, just because you look around the NFL and there's not many quarterback battles going on, but there's a real quarterback battle going on in New England. We talked about it when we were ranking quarterbacks a couple of weeks ago with Bo about who was going to start in New England. I think all of us kind of came up with different answers. I think, some people, a couple of us said Mac Jones, a couple of us said Cam Newton. So I think it will be interesting to see how Cam looks and how Mac looks in his first game.
Pete Thamel at Yahoo Sports at his Twitter feed, he's now tweeting that the Tulane AD told Yahoo Sports Tulane will be requiring vaccinations or a negative PCR test for everyone 12 and up within 72 hours to attend any athletic event of Tulane's. This is in accordance with a mayoral order for events of more than 500 people and all indoor events. I'm covered. I've got my card. I don't think it's necessary that I've been vaccinated, but I'll do a PCR test.
So this, and I please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm kind of asking. With that tweet, it's kind of sounding like that's more of a New Orleans thing.
Yeah, but I think the dominoes are falling.
I think it will, but I just with it said the mayoral, and they have some type of rule with it. It seems like those two both coming out on the same day, the Saints and Tulane. It seems like those are connected with the city of New Orleans, and I think you're right. I think in the next couple of days, the next couple of weeks, I think we're going to see a lot more of this.
Got to feel like New York City will be close in this.
And I talked about it earlier. I really do think the Knicks did that in the playoffs. I could be completely wrong, but I do remember them at least talking about it. So I think New York will be up there. Some of those California schools, I'm sure, could be in there as well.
Tonight, the Field of Dreams game, will they wear the throwback unis?
Yes.
You've already seen the uniforms out there? They will be something from yesteryear?
Oh, yeah.
From long ago
Long ago.
I'm not wild about those uniforms. But I'll watch some of that tonight, so I guess baseball probably will win at the end of the night. I'll put a stopwatch on it. When we come back, no stopwatch. We are counting down to the end of today's show. When we come back, we'll wrap it up with Taco Bell Crunch Time. That's next on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Get your day off to a great start with Peter Edmonston and Anthony Sane on Sports 56 mornings. Weekdays from 7 to 10 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 115 years. I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. So easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. Stock up heavy on all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
No one outfits golfers better than Edwin Watts Golf Shops. We've been fitting golfers since 1968. Utilizing cutting-edge fitting technology, we'll analyze your swing and our Foresight launch monitors and fit you with the perfect club, pair of shoes, the latest golf apparel, golf balls, bags, and more. So come by today for your complete custom fitting. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
It's finally time to get out of the house. So make sure you stop by Family Leisure with great prices on in-stock and incoming products. Keep the kids active with play gyms, in stock, ready for delivery. And by the way, installation from the pros, I always recommend that. Markdowns on remaining game room products and those beautiful massage chairs. And the hot tubs, they're going fast. Get out of the house and get to Family Leisure. Wooden Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage, factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
When's the last time you played a Memphis City golf course? You will love what you see, I promise. If you have not played Galloway, Audubon, Fox Meadows, or Pine Hill lately, or the links at Whitehaven, you are in for a treat. With summer here, the grass has popped, the conditions are terrific, and this year Memphis City Golf is really concentrating on competition. If you love amateur competition, there will be a Galloway, Audubon, Fox Meadows, and Pine Hill Championship, all leading up to the Pub Links and the Hillman Robin. And ladies, you've got amateur championships too. And if you're a junior, the place to be is the Links at Whitehaven. There will be camps all summer long. Go to the website, moms and dads, if you would like to enter your child to learn from the pros how to play golf. And wait till you see the renovation at Overton Park. And soon there will be a redo at Pine Hill. Memphis City Golf, a sporting tradition for over 100 years.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Come on, Muhammad, that we hit fame. We beat you with the deal, we get in fame.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is Geraldo. It is crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskell.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
Looking for something new at Taco Bell? Try the original tacos meets the instant classic, nacho fries. There's bound to be some magic. Nacho fries are essentially building blocks for culinary imagination. Slightly seasoned, go with bold spices. Warm nacho cheese and sour cream, loaded taco fries are covered with seasoned beef, nacho cheese sauce, ranch, tomato, and shredded cheese. In short, the legend of nacho fries lives on.
Brian, I learned today Miguel Cabrera with the Tigers, one home run away from number 500. He should be Cooperstown bound. There was some stuff about him in his career with PEDs. I don't think enough to keep him out. He won the Triple Crown, a great player, career Detroit Tiger, lifer. Only 3 American League Triple Crown winners in the last 55 years. Frank Robinson in 66 with the O's. The next year, Yaz with the Bo Sox, and Cabrera in 2012. Last National League Triple Crown winner, Joe Medwick with the Cardinals in 1937.
Ooh, wow, that's a long time ago.
That's a long time for me ago.
Yeah.
What'd you learn today?
I learned that there is a quarterback battle going on down in Jacksonville. Urban Meyer today was talking to reporters. I don't know. That's why I learned it, because I had no idea what was going on. Urban Meyer today, he told reporters that they asked him about starting quarterback. He said he didn't know yet. Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew were still battling out, and he would make a decision closer to the game week.
Well, it will be sad to see Lawrence thrown in there behind an offensive line that can't go, that can't play.
Yes, very true.
Why do that to him? But Urban Meyer knew when he took the job that he was going to have the number 1 pick and that they were going to take him. So why the being coy about it? I've seen enough of Gardner Minshew.
Mm-hmm.
Fun story, but he's not your future. He's not the quarterback the Jags are going to win anything close to anything that matters with. Could have done without Grizz Fam and Grizz Twitter last night. Already working on the induction speech for Zaire Williams going to the Basketball Hall of Fame. 1 game in Vegas in the glorified Bluff City Classic. I will judge everything Zaire Williams over the next few years off of actual NBA games and at least 2 years, if not 3, of seeing him in those.
Yeah, you need more than one summer league game.
Yeah, that's like falling in love the first time you see somebody, much less introduce yourself to them.
Yeah. What I could have done without today is Rashad Bateman's injury. A groin injury is going to put him out for a couple weeks. He'll likely be out for week 1, and that's just not what you want if you're the Baltimore Ravens. They've already dealt with some injuries, some COVID cases. Their receiver core is looking a little thin right now, and that just doesn't help.
Yeah, Hollywood Brown's got to play a lot better than he's played. He's played more like El Segundo Brown instead of Hollywood. Lamar Jackson seems to be pretty dug in on anti-vaxxer, but he doesn't get the criticism. He hasn't gotten the criticism that some's gotten. I wonder why.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I think he's had 2 rounds of COVID.
Yeah.
And young, he feels like it's not going to harm him.
Right.
And he may feel like with enough antibodies out there, still a lot of COVID talk. You know, back in May I said it's over, take yes for an answer. I was wrong.
Yeah.
It wasn't over. It's still very, very, very omnipresent and feels like it's only going to be more dominoes to fall on protocol and procedures, but at least we can get the year in. What are you keeping your eye on tonight?
I'm keeping my eye on that preseason football game.
What about the cornfield?
I'll be flipping back and forth, and my wrist's gonna hurt from that, pushing all those buttons all night. But
first Major League Baseball regular season game ever in the state of Iowa.
Really? And see, I love Field of Dreams. It's one of my favorite sports movies, probably one of my favorite movies in general. And so I'm definitely going to be paying attention to that just because it's just going to be so fun to actually watch a baseball game there.
And some football tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That Washington defense, it kind of carried them to the NFC East last year. Both teams will be watching the quarterback play tonight. Riverboat Ron against Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick and his preseason games, he takes them serious.
Yeah.
We'll be watching that. I'll watch most of it. Also, the battle of the Steagles, Steelers and Eagles, once a combined team during World War II years. Jalen Hurts very much under the microscope, isn't he? He always is.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and I think this is going to be a big make-or-break year for him. You saw him get a couple starts, but then there's been some talk over this offseason of, is he that guy that Philadelphia is going to lead? He's going to lead the Eagles in the future.
Great competitor. Never thought he was franchise quarterback.
No, not at all.
Not even that year at OU.
Oh, no, and I think his competitive spirit, his fire in him is really what has driven him.
When we talk about Cardinals and guys that got away, we mentioned a couple of outfielders earlier today. Here's one of the big ones. Tonight, on the mound, 10-3 for the Southsiders, Lance Lynn against the Yankees.
Yeah, and a guy who wasn't supposed to start in this position. He was supposed to start last night, and then obviously Carlos Rondon can't play tonight because of a funeral in his family. He has to go attend that. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, a different atmosphere tonight. But Lance Lynn's looked good this year.
Tony La Russa wins it all with the Cardinals in 2011, steps away, comes back. if he won it with the White Sox, would you get out again?
Maybe.
How does he add to a legacy? I mean, he's already in Cooperstown.
Yeah, he is. And I think I just hate it. I hate it what happened right when he got in Chicago with all of
It was awkward.
It was awkward, and I don't think he kind of realized how young this team and how kind of modern this team is.
Senior moment.
Yes.
He did.
And
I love him.
But it looks like that's kind of behind us now. Hopefully.
Will it come back in the playoffs with a miscue?
That's what I'm worried about.
He got the pitching fouled up
Mm-hmm.
in 2011 down in that game in Arlington.
And what I think is it looked like, all that stuff happened. There seemed to be a little division there, but it all happened before the season started. I just hope
winning cures everything.
Exactly. And it would just really hurt them if there was another slip up close to playoff time.
Yeah, if he won it again, what a story to stay out of the game, come back, win it, and then walk away again. We'll keep an eye on the Giants late against the Rockies, now 32 over 500. Nobody had the Giants in any preseason predictions, the job that's been turned in there by the Giants, but they can't win it this year. They only win it in even-numbered years, right?
Right.
Won it in 10, 12, and 14. Yeah. Won it way back when with Willie Mays in 54, another even number year. The Giants can't win it in odd number years, so count them out come October. That's something only you and I know, right?
Yeah, I think so.
The Giants are rolling right now, so a lot to keep up with tonight. We'll watch the Amani Bates Twitter feed, TikTok, something to see if he makes any news tonight. Sounds like it might be more toward the weekend on that, but we will watch it all. I want to thank Bill Bender from the Sporting News for joining us, starting his run with us. He'll be back in 2 weeks and all the way through the national championship game. I want to thank Keith Smith with Yahoo Sports and Spot Rack talking NBA with us, and as always, our very own Greg Gaston talking Tigers with us. For Bryant, for Dave in his absence, I'm Brett. Talk to you tomorrow at 3.
Grind City Brewing Company is taking care of beerness in Memphis. Grind City Brewing is the dream of a father and son duo to create a brand that delivers a high-quality, great-tasting, and easy-drinking craft beer. And they've done it. The brewery sits high above the city elevation in uptown Memphis with 15,000 square feet of beerness, including a 5,000 square foot tap room. Grind City Brewing is committed to all things Memphis, including the Tigers. They have created a malt liquor called Tiger Tail that is the official craft beer of the University of Memphis. Tiger Tail comes in 16-ounce six-packs and is not your typical malt liquor. Tiger Tail is crafted with a bold and smooth flavor, has 7.5% alcohol, and its clean finish makes it incredibly easy drinking. Tiger Tail and Grind City Brewing, taking care of beerness in Memphis.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. How old is your water heater? With most of the water heaters in the Mid-South located in the attic, the worst day you can replace your water heater is one day too late. It may be time for a tankless water heater from Conway Services that never runs out of hot water. Plus, these energy-saving models only heat the water you use, saving you money on your gas bill every month. Most 10-year-old water heaters were about 65% efficient when they were new, compared to a tankless water heater from Conway Services that's up to 98% efficient. Plus, right now, get your tankless water heater from Conway Services for as low as $79 per month. Or I'll give you $250 for that old tank water heater. And no more worrying about that tank bursting in your attic either. And with over 8,000 5-star reviews, Google guaranteed Conway Services will be providing great customer service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old water heater will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
O'Reilly. The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts will help with all your car care needs. Whether you're shopping for parts, accessories, or supplies, we've got you covered. Right now, get Superior Cover-All Tire Shine 2 for $16. Plus, earn double O-Rewards points. Keep your car looking like new. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
CenterPoint Energy takes many steps to help ensure the safety of gas lines in your community and shares important tips like the following. A distinct odor similar to rotten eggs is added to natural gas. If you smell it, clear the area